regular and affordable housing loan programs of Pag-ibig Fund along with its countryside housing initiative. Let us all welcome the Division Chief of Pag-ibig Fund's Institutional Housing Department, Engineer Richard M. Roque. Magandang umaga po, Engineer Roque.
Magandang umaga, Ms. Jeannie, and thank you for that introduction. Good morning to everyone at magandang umaga po muli. I'm Engineer Richard Roque, your lingkod pag-ibig. Ngayong pong umaga, please allow me to share with you the Pag-ibig Fund Housing Loan Programs and the Countryside Housing Initiative. So ngayon pong umaga ating pag-uusapan ang iba't ibang housing loan purposes, the members' eligibility requirements, the salient features of our programs, the reforms that we introduce in our housing loan programs to make home financing more accessible to you, our members. We hope po at the end of our webinar today, you will be updated, encouraged, and will finally decide to pursue your home of home ownership po through Pag-ibig Fund. So under our Pag-ibig Fund Housing Loan Program, we would like to inform everybody that the maximum loanable amount of Pag-ibig Fund po is now at 6 million pesos. It will just depend lang po sa parameters, the actual need of the member, the capacity to pay of the member, and the appraisal of the property. Whichever po is the lowest, that will be your approved loan with Pag-ibig Fund. So speaking po of lowest, unlike before po that the interest rate of the housing loan will depend on the amount that you will apply. Now, the interest po will be depend po sa ating pong fixing period, sa pipiliin pong fixing period ng ating pong mga housing loan borrowers. So, we leave it up to our housing loan members or housing loan borrowers kung ano po ang kanilang fixing period na pipilian with corresponding interest rate. So, ang tanong po siguro ng karamihan sa atin ngayon, why should you choose Pag-ibig Fund as your financing partner? Bakit nga po ba Pag-ibig Fund? Number one, we offer the longest repayment term. Ang loan term po na ino-offer po ng Pag-ibig Fund po is 30 years to pay. It will just depend lang po sa age ng ating mga members kung kaya niyo po i-maximize yung 30 years na loan term. Ang effect po ng longer repayment term, more affordable po ang ating magiging monthly amortization with Pag-ibig Fund. Aside from that, Pag-ibig Fund also allows you, our members, to pay your in advance po sa ating principal balance. So we allow accelerated payments para po sa inyong mga housing loans. So unlike other financing institutions po that you need to wait for your anniversary month or anniversary date of your loans para po makapag-advance po kayo sa inyong principal balance, ang Pag-ibig Fund po, anytime, pwede po kayo mag-advance sa principal balance. The only requirement lang po is that the amount that you will advance is equal or more than your regular amortization po, yun po yung pwede nating i-advance sa ating outstanding balance. So, if you have bonuses, if you have extra cash, pwede nyo pong directly na po ito ibayad sa ating pong mga principal balance. Ang epekto po nito, mas umiikli po yung taon ng inyong pong pagbabayad sa inyong pong mga housing loan. Aside from that, Pag-ibig Fund allows pre-termination of your housing loan without requiring you po to pay the unearned or supposed to be would-be interest. Kaya kung halimbawa po, your original term is 30 years to pay, pero bigla po kayo nagkaroon ng pera para ma-fully pay po ang inyong mga housing loan sa Pag-ibig Fund, you just go to our office and request for computation po of your outstanding balance that day. So wala pong would-be interest or the unearned interest na ipapataw po sa inyo ang Pag-ibig Fund. So kung fully pay nyo po siya on that day, hanggang dun lang po yung interest po na ma-charge po sa atin or i-charge po sa atin rather by Pag-ibig Fund. Aside from that, we would like to also inform everybody po regarding the multiple loans. Kung dati po ang Pag-ibig Fund, kailangan po nating i-fully pay muna yung existing na loan po natin bago po tayo mag-avail ng another housing loan. Under our new program, we allow multiple housing loan. Ang requirement lang po dapat, kaya po dapat ng ating capacity to pay at hindi po lalagpas sa 6 million ang total na magiging obligation po ng ating mga housing loan borrowers. So if you are currently contemplating kung mag-housing loan po ba kayo dito sa NCR ngayon because you're living po sa regions, pwede po kayo mag-housing loan dito po sa NCR. Then later on po, kung kaya pa rin po ng inyong capacity to pay, pwede pa rin kayong mag-avail ng another housing loan kung kayo po ay umuwi na po sa ating hometown. Yan. At the same time, Pag-ibig Fund also allows TAC loans. When we say TAC loans, kung hindi po kaya ng ating principal borrower yung kanyang plan na i-loan sa kanya pong capacity to pay, pwede po siyang kumuha ng hanggang 2 co-borrowers. So yun po yung kagandahan sa Pag-ibig Fund because we want you, our members po, na talagang as much as possible makuha po natin or magawa ng paraan para makuha po natin yung ating mga dream homes. So kung income ang concern natin, pwede po natin kuning co-borrowers ang ating pong mga asawa, ang inyo pong mga anak, or ang inyo pong kapatid or magulang. At ito po ang maganda, no? Kung talaga pong wala na po tayong pwedeng kunin na ibang co-borrower, Pag-ibig Fund now allows co-borrowers that are non-related. So pwede na po yan, provided po, no, kailangan po tayong dumaan sa loan counseling para po explain ng Pag-ibig Fund po sa atin ang mga pros and cons ng pagkuha po ng co-borrower na non-related. Isa po dito sa magiging resulting na ano po dito, pagka kumuha po tayo ng co-borrowers na non-related, they will become title holder din po of the property. Now we proceed, no? Where can you use or what can you buy with the Pag-ibig Housing Loan? Kanina po nakita ko ang dami pong mga tanong po sa chat box natin. Ano ba yung mga loan purposes na pwede i-avail sa Pag-ibig Fund? So number 1 po, pwede po tayong bumili ng lote and Pag-ibig Fund will be your financing partner. At ang kagandahan din po dito, the residential lot that you will avail, hindi po namin kayo ililimit sa isang property lang. If there are adjoining lots that's for sale and you're willing to purchase it all po at kaya po ng inyong capacity to pay, then you can apply it all po sa Pag-ibig Fund. So aside from the purchase of fully developed lot, pwede rin po kami mag-finance ng residential house and lot, townhouse, condominium unit. Ngayon po, no, meron na rin po tayong loan purpose inclusive of parking slots. So sa mga aspiring condominium unit owners po natin na gustong i-finance po via Pag-ibig Fund ang inyong pong mga pagbili, pwede nyo na pong isabay din ang pagbili po ng inyong mga parking slot kasabay po ng inyong pagbili po ng condominium units. So ang kagandahan din po, no, sa purchase of residential unit, hindi po kami limitado lang po, no, sa mga ready inventories po ng ating mga accredited developers. So pwede po kayong bumili ng mga property po na existing na. For example, property po ng inyong magulang, property po ng inyong kakilala, at ibinibenta po, ito po ay titulado as residential ang classification. You can apply it po for financing sa Pag-ibig Fund. Another loan purpose po na pwedeng i-consider or i-avail po ng ating mga housing loan borrower or ng ating mga members, pwede po kayo mag-apply for house construction loan. So if you have a property, if you have a titled property, clean title po, nakapangalan po sa inyo or sa inyo po mag-asawa, pwede po kayo mag-apply for a house construction loan na kung saan po ang Pag-ibig Fund po will be your partner for the financing po of the improvement po sa inyong property. Aside from that, pwede rin po mag-finance ang Pag-ibig Fund for the improvement of your house. Currently, the house po is 1 story, then you want to improve it, lagyan po ng second floor, third floor, palagyan po ng bagong tiles, palagyan ng bagong kisame, pwede niyo pong i-apply po yan via Pag-ibig Housing Loan Program. So, kung halimbawa naman po, no, baka po meron tayong mga nakikinig po ngayon sa ating audience po or sa ating mga attendees na yung titulo po is nakapangalan, hindi po sa kanila nakapangalan, pero nakapangalan po sa kanilang mga magulang. So Pag-ibig Fund also considers that po. Pwede po yan gamiting collateral, yung mga titles po na nakapangalan sa ating mga magulang. Ang kailangan lang pong gawin ng ating pong mga magulang is to execute a special power of attorney authorizing you to mortgage po the property po to use as your collateral. Another loan purpose po, no, na pwede po yung explore. Kanina po may nakita rin po ako sa ating chat box, refinance of an existing loan. Yes, we have that kind of loan purpose. Pwede pong currently nasa isang financing institution or lending institution ang inyo pong existing loan. Pwede po namin yan i-refinance. Ang basic requirement lang po is that meron na po tayong at least 6 months na perfect repayment history because we want to establish the track record po. How are you paying po as an existing housing loan borrower po dun sa current lending institution po na nandun po tayo ngayon. So aside from this loan purposes po, we have combined loan purposes. Baka meron po tayong mga kasamahan ngayon na meron po kayo nakitang lote at gusto nyo rin pong doon, ipatayo na rin po yung inyong mga bahay. So we have combined loan purpose po na tinatawag nating purchase of lot plus construction of house. Pwede rin po ang purchase of residential unit plus isasabay nyo na rin po yung home improvement loan. So those are the combined loan purposes po that you may consider po as Pag-ibig Fund member. Next slide please. The next thing po siguro na tatanungin natin, sino ang pwede mag-apply? How to apply? What's the requirements? Anong eligibility requirements ba sa Pag-ibig Fund? So very basic lang po ang requirement po natin para makapag-apply po kayo for Pag-ibig home financing. Number 1, kayo po dapat ay active member ng Pag-ibig Fund. Active member na meron pong at least 24 months na po na savings with Pag-ibig. Kung ang ilan po sa atin na nakikinig ay wala pa pong 24 months sa kanilang contribution or membership po with us, ang kagandahan po ngayon, Pag-ibig Fund now allows lump sum payment po of the remaining months para mabuo nyo po yung 24 months natin or mabuo yung kapupunan po ng 24 months. So in that case po, the following month, kailangan nyo na po magbayad ng regular contribution po na 200 pesos. So halimbawa, let's have a quick example. 12 months ka na pong miyembro sa Pag-ibig Fund. Ang sabi ko po is 24 months ang requirement. Kailangan nyo lang pong bayaran yung remaining 12 months. Lump sum, bayad po yan ngayong October para po ma-evaluate na po namin kayo for a housing loan. Another requirement lang po na dapat nating tingnan is that you should not be more than 65 years old at the date of loan application. And it's not more than 7 years old at the date of loan maturity. Para po sa mga members po natin na ang edad po ay 18 years old up to 40 years old, you can maximize the loan term po to 30 years to pay. Pero kung ang edad po natin ay 40 years old and above, you just need to subtract your present age po sa 70 years. Kasi po kailangan at age 70, fully paid po ang inyong mga housing loan with Pag-ibig Fund. Another requirement din po is that kailangan meron tayong legal capacity to acquire and encumber real property in the Philippines. So kailangan po ma-establish natin that you have a regular source of income because ito po yung magiging reference po natin, documented source of income because this will be our reference po when we evaluate po your capacity to pay. Kaya po importante po, kailangan if you're employed po, we will be requiring lang po a certificate of employment with compensation. And para po sa mga kasamahan po natin ngayon na nakikinig from government agencies, we will be requiring din po the certified one-month payslip because we need to check the GAA or we need to observe po the GAA requirement na 5,000 pesos po na net take-home pay natin. And aside from that, kailangan din po tayo tingnan wala po dapat tayong housing loan na foreclose, canceled, bought back, or voluntarily surrendered. So gusto ko lang po itong bigyan ng further explanation. If you have meritorious reasons po, bakit po na-foreclose ang inyong mga accounts, at na-cancel ang inyong mga accounts, pwede po kayo po mismo ay nagkasakit or pwede rin po kayo po mismo ay nawalan ng trabaho during that time and this can be documented, you can request for reconsideration and this is subject po for approval of our management. So titingnan po natin kung valid po yung mga reasons po na inyo pong nailatag. And lastly, if we have an existing Pag-ibig housing loan or short-term loan or multi-purpose loan, our only requirement po is for you to just update po your existing loans po with Pag-ibig Fund. Next slide please. So now we proceed with the low interest rates. So effective July to December 2021, flash on your screens po are the available interest rates po na pwede po nating pagpilian together with the corresponding fixing period. So ano po bang difference po ng fixing period at ang loan term? Pagka po sinabi nating loan term, this is the years kung gaano po natin katagal babayaran ang ating pong housing loan sa Pag-ibig Fund. Pagka naman po sinabi nating fixing period, ito po yung taon kung saan hindi po magbabago yung ating taunang interest. So if I will choose a 3-year fixing period po, my interest rate po for the next coming 3 years per annually will be at 6.25% per annum. So next slide please. So we'll just show you po sa ating pong screen ngayon, here's a sample computation. Marami po siguro sa ating ngayon na nag-isip na wag kano ba yung pwedeng amortization dyan at wag kano ang income requirement. By the way, speaking of income requirement po, ang Pag-ibig Fund po now looks at your gross monthly income. In our previous guidelines po, no, nakatingin pa po kami sa net disposable income or yung net take-home pay ng ating member when we evaluate po their capacity to pay. Pero under our new guidelines po, no, Pag-ibig Fund looks at your gross monthly income. So gross monthly income, mas malaking gross monthly income, mas malaki po ang resulting na loanable amount in terms of your capacity to pay. So kindly take note lang po, no, just like to give emphasis for our government employees po na nakikinig po ngayon, kailangan po natin i-observe ang 5,000 pesos na net take-home pay upon deducting po the would-be amortization sa ating pong mga payslip po. Yan. So for presentation purposes po, this table po is based on a 30-year loan term. Ang fixing period po na ginamit po natin dito is 3 years with interest rate of 6.25% per annum. So as you can see on your screen, if a member will avail of a loan for 1,250,000 pesos, the required gross monthly income lang po nitong ating mga member na mag-avail ng 1.250 million, it's only 21,989.5 pesos or basically 22,000 pesos gross monthly income. At ang amortization or estimated monthly amortization po ng ating pong housing loan borrower or prospect housing loan borrower is only at 7,696.47 pesos. So ganyan lang po, no, ka-affordable. Para lang po tayong umuupa or siguro po sa iba nga pong lugar, baka mas mababa pa po ito, no, kaysa po sa pagrenta. So please allow me din po to take this opportunity rin po to share with you regarding our basis po ng computation ng penalties. Unlike with other financing institutions po or lending institutions, pagka po hindi tayo nakapagbayad ng ating due or yung amount due to be paid po sa kanila, the basis of their computation po will be the outstanding balance. So dito po sa case natin kanina sa 1.250, this is the outstanding balance. Dito po nagbabase ang ilang lending institutions when they compute for your penalties. But with Pag-ibig Fund po, kung kayo po ay halimbawa po hindi nakapagbayad ng inyong monthly amortization, the basis of our penalty computation will be based on the unpaid amount, which is the monthly amortization po na 7,696 pesos. So yun po yung isa sa malaking pagkakaiba po natin sa ibang lending institution. Kaya po ito ay tulong sa ating mga miyembro because Pag-ibig Fund po is here for sustainability po, not profitability. So kaya po kung meron po kayong mga ibang desired loan amount na hindi po nakikita po ngayon sa inyong screen, you can also check po our website. So yung mga kasamahan ko po no, na lingkod Pag-ibig service team will chat it po in our chat box right now. Yung link po na dapat nyo pong i-click para po makita nyo po no, yung desired, kung if you wish to compute for your desired loan amount, the gross monthly income and the estimated monthly amortization. So please check po our housing loan affordable calculator. Next slide please. So now we proceed with the affordable housing loan programs of Pag-ibig Fund, housing loan program of Pag-ibig Fund. So this program was specifically designed to cater the need of our minimum wage earners. Sabi nga po, sa Pag-ibig Fund, walang imposibleng pangarap. Kaya nga po, this program po was created because a minimum wage earner member of Pag-ibig Fund can avail of a loan of up to 750,000 pesos. At ang kagandahan po rito, we subsidize, Pag-ibig Fund subsidize interest rate. So through the tax savings po no, na nakuha po ng Pag-ibig Fund, ito po ay kailangan ibalik po muli natin sa ating mga members through form of tax subsidy. So kaya po ang ginagawa natin ngayon ay nag-subsidize po tayo ng interest rate for our minimum wage earners through the tax savings. Next slide please. Huwag kanong interest rate. Ito po, napaka-good news po, no? Good news to our minimum wage earners. Ang interest rate lang po na ipapataw or i-charge ng Pag-ibig Fund para po sa ating mga housing loan borrowers na mga minimum wage earners. Paano po natin masasabi na sila po ay minimum wage earners? If they are working in NCR, hindi po dapat lalagpas sa 15,000 pesos ang kanila pong buwanang kinikita or ang kanilang gross monthly income. Again, 15,000 pesos or 1.5, okay? Kung sila naman po ay nagtatrabaho sa regions, ang kanila pong dapat na kinikita or ang kanilang gross monthly income ay hindi po dapat lalagpas ng 12,000 pesos per month. At kung ganito po ang kanila pong gross monthly income requirement at sila po ay maglo-loan ng hindi po lalagpas sa 580,000 pesos, ang kanila pong magiging buwanang hulog lang po sa Pag-ibig Fund ay nasa 2,445 pesos point 3. At itong interest rate po niya is only 3%. So, wala pa po talaga, napakababa po nitong interest rate na ino-offer po natin para po sa ating mga minimum wage earners. Kindly take note lang po that this computation po is based on a 30-year loan term. Basta po kayo ng edad nyo, pwede nyo po i-maximize to 30 years ang inyong loan term po no, sa Pag-ibig Fund. Next slide please. Now, ang kagandahan din po, no, another good news that we want to share with you, our future housing loan borrowers. Lahat po kayo na maglo-loan sa Pag-ibig Fund ng housing loan, you will be covered by Mortgage Redemption Insurance or MRI. Na kung saan po, no, kung halimbawa po mamatay, o wag naman po sana, pero kung sakali pong mamatay ang ating pong mga housing loan borrowers, wala po siyang utang na iiwanan sa kanya pong mga beneficiaries, provided lang po na updated ang kanila pong mga housing loan sa Pag-ibig Fund. That's why we give emphasis po na dapat updated po no, ang ating mga hulog sa Pag-ibig Fund. Aside from that, the new insurance provider po of Pag-ibig Fund also give additional features po aside dun sa basic na kung halimbawa pong namatay po yung ating mga housing loan borrowers. Pero po tayong tinatawag na burial benefit na 26,000 na pwedeng ma-enjoy ng beneficiaries po ng ating housing loan borrower. Aside from that, meron din po tayong wake assistance na 4,000 pesos. And this is very new. The effects of total permanently disabled. Kung dati po requirement para ma-fully pay ang loan, kailangan po is mamatay or mamatay po ang ating mga housing loan borrower. Now, if the borrower will be declared as totally permanently disabled, and this will be established po, no, ma-establish po talaga natin, the beneficiaries may apply for full payment po of their of the housing loan po of the member. Aside from that, kung meron po tayo meron mga housing loan borrower po na categorized po as terminally ill na po siya. So there will be an amortization support of 18 months po that will be provided po by the insurance broker. So hindi po ito cash na ibibigay sa ating mga housing loan borrower, but this will, instead of the housing loan borrower paying it, it will be the insurance provider. But please, there's a documentation po no, that we need to prepare regarding this. This is not automatic. So meron po mga ganito pagkakataon na wala na po yung ating housing loan borrower, namatay na po siya, please advise, let your beneficiaries po no, proceed to our offices po para ma-inform po ang Pag-ibig Fund. Next slide please. Aside from the MRI, we would like to also inform you that hindi lang po yung borrower natin ang ini-insure. Even the properties po na ilo-loan po sa Pag-ibig Fund, it will be covered by insurance. So we have fire and allied perils insurance. So just in case po of a force majeure, nalintol, nasunog, or binaha yung inyong mga properties, or even po any force majeure po no, na nangyari po sa inyong mga properties at may na-damage po, you can file for a claim po sa ating pong insurance provider. So yun po yung kagandahan. Last po, no, before I proceed to the next slide, how much po ang charge namin sa MRI natin? It's only 0.225 cents per 1,000. Or kung maglo-loan po ay ng 1 million pesos, we are only charging 225 pesos per month para po sa 1 million po na housing loan. Ganun lang po kababa yung premium charge po ng Pag-ibig Fund. Next slide please. So we proceed with the housing loan requirements. What are the requirements? Basic po, no? Basically from 14 requirements po that we are requiring our housing loan borrowers, we have reduced it to 7 requirements. The application form, it's downloadable po in our portal. The proof of income, kailangan lang po nating establish ano po ba yung source of income nyo. Kayo po ba ay locally employed, OFWs, self-employed? So lahat po yan meron tayong specific na mga checklist of requirements po for proof of income. You will just be requiring photocopy lang po ng inyong ID at ang ID po ng inyong asawa, even the ID po of your seller. And ang kagandahan po din po ngayon, we will only be requiring lang po for the meantime, the photocopy po of the title upon during evaluation of your loan. Okay, during evaluation of your housing loan, you'll just be requiring lang po for the meantime the photocopies of the title, transfer certificate of titles, or kung ito po ay condominium unit, you'll be requiring po the photocopy of the certificate of condominium certificate of title. And tax declaration, tax receipt, visibility map po, and next slide please. And for purchase of residential unit, kailangan lang din po natin magkaroon po kayo ng agreement ang inyong seller. Kung house construction naman po, we will be requiring the building plans, specifications, bill of materials po, duly signed by your licensed civil engineer architect. And kung refinancing po ang inyong housing loan with Pagibig Fund, we will be requiring the latest statement of account on the outstanding balance, duly signed by the manager po, official receipt and subsidiary ledger. Next slide please. Now, kung dati po madali nang magbayad sa Pag-ibig Fund ng inyong mga housing loan, ngayon mas pinadali pa po natin. We have accredited several payment partners para po mas mapadali po natin or mas mapalapit po sa ating mga members po at hindi po sila mahirapan ng kanilang pagbabayad ng kanilang mga monthly amortization. So we have virtual Pag-ibig. Pwede rin po mag-issue ng post-dated checks ang ating po mga housing loan borrowers. Good for 1 year, annual issuance of PDC. Pwede rin po through salary deduction ang kanila pong maging mode of payment if your company allows po or has a collection servicing agreement with Pag-ibig Fund. Meron din po tayo mga collection partners and online payment facilities, and we also have auto debit arrangement with our partner banks. So sino-sino po ito? Next slide please. So we have ang mga partners po natin ngayon, we have Bayad Center, GCash, SafeMore, BPI. Ayan po, naka-flash po sa inyong screen, and you can screenshot it po for your reference. Next slide please. Now, just for you para meron po kayong i-look forward po sa inyong mga magiging housing loan. So we have launched this Home Equity Appreciation Loan Program, kung saan po we want you, our members, to really maximize po the value of your home po. Because we believe po kung ang inyo pong mga housing loan borrower, let's say magkaroon na po ng at least 5 years na po kayong merong existing loan with Pag-ibig Fund, and yung last year nyo po is regularly paying po kayo, you can apply again for another housing loan with us. Kaya po, kung meron po kayong mga kakilala, kasamahan, kapamilya po na meron ng loans, existing housing loans with Pag-ibig Fund, at meron na po silang at least 5 years na po na naghuhulog sa Pag-ibig Fund ng kanilang amortization, please let them know of this program. And this program po will be thoroughly discussed by in our succeeding webinars po. So we hope po to see you again po sa ating mga succeeding webinars. Okay, next slide please. Now, this is the last topic po that I'll be presenting this morning, the Countryside Housing Initiative. So kung meron po tayong mga employers po na kasamahan ngayon, mga local government units na kasamahan, provincial government, national agencies po na kasamahan po ngayon na nakikinig na ating webinar series, we have introduced po to you the Countryside Housing Initiative of Pag-ibig Fund. Because we believe po, Pag-ibig Fund realized po that there are areas that are still unserved and underserved. Pwede pong areas or even Pag-ibig Fund members po. There are instances po na kaya po ng capacity to pay ng ating mga housing loan borrower or members ang meron po silang capacity to pay. However, there are no available inventories in the market. There are instances naman po na baliktad. Meron pong available inventories in the market. Unfortunately, hindi po kaya ng capacity to pay ng target beneficiaries. So through this Countryside Housing Initiative, next slide please, we encourage participation po of developers and non-developers. Katulad po nung na-mention ko po kayo na the LGUs, the cooperatives, NGAs, employers, institutions that you want to have a housing project po for your employees or constituents. So baka you can consider this po, this Countryside Housing Initiative of Pag-ibig Fund. Why? Because the aim of this initiative of Pag-ibig Fund is to provide affordable yet superior housing units than those that being usually offered po in the market. Bakit po natin ito pwedeng magawa? Because Pag-ibig Fund and you, the proponent po, will be there na po on the outset. We will consider na po, we will evaluate, we will check, we will pre-qualify the capacity to pay of your target beneficiaries, at yun po yung pwede nating gawing package po, housing package for your envisioned dream project. At the same time, we provide our chief partners technical assistance. So ang kagandahan din po dito sa ating Countryside Housing Initiative, since alam po namin na these are non-developers, most of them are non-developers and not really into housing project, hindi po ito yung turf nila, Pag-ibig Fund will be there to assist you to pre-qualify your target beneficiaries as well as to train your project documentation team. And kung kailangan po talaga ng assistance with other agencies from Pag-ibig Fund, Pag-ibig Fund will be there to assist you po to facilitate the project implementation of your envisioned housing project. Now, next slide please. For the implementation options, we have listed 5 implementation options. Number 1, we have the project proponent initiated. So we will go through this very quickly para lang po makita po natin anong option ako pwedeng applicable. Yung aking company ngayon, saan fit po siya, what implementation option. So number 1, we have the project proponent initiated. Under this option, kayo po ang may housing need. The proponent has the housing need para po sa kanyang mga empleyado at constituents. Siya rin po ay may pag-aaring lote at siya po ay may technical capability. If this is your case right now, so we may explore this option, the project proponent initiated. Kung halimbawa naman po, under option 2, you have the market at meron po kayong loteng pag-aari. However, you don't have the technical capability to undertake a housing project, then we can explore the joint venture agreement with developer contractor. Another option po is the tripartite agreement. Under this option, wala po kayong loteng pag-aari, wala rin po kayong technical capability and financial capability to undertake a housing project. What you only have po is the market or housing need po para po sa inyong mga empleyado or constituents. So what can we do? We can explore this partnership, the tripartite agreement or option 3. Number 4, the project proponent seeks partnership with developers. Under this option po, proponent seeks partnership with developers to acquire the land, develop the site, and construct the units. So actually, ang tawag din po namin dito kung minsan ay home matching program or the needs matching program. Kasi po kung minsan, ito po yung mga proponents po na meron na silang na land bank at naghahanap sila ng mga employer or institution that wishes to have a housing project po for their employees. So we may explore this. Not only with our accredited developers, you might be wanting to explore din po for groups, for employers po, our group sale, our acquired assets po, that we give really big discounts po. And ito po is i-discuss po ng ating next speaker sa next week, in our succeeding webinar next week. And last but not the least, the compliance of developer po to balance housing requirement. I think this is most applicable po sa ating mga kasamahan po ngayon na nasa LGUs or local government units. You might want to explore this option din po because there are provision po sa circular ng HLURB po that says na kung yung main project ng developer, the compliance po niya, the socialized housing compliance should be also be done sa inyo pong sa inyong main subdivision, sa inyong pong main city. So yun po yung will help you to address the housing backlog po ng inyong pong city or ng inyong pong mga municipality. Next slide please. So yan, if you wish to set po an appointment with us, so feel free po to contact our housing relationship officers, Ms. Veronica Florendo, and email them at vbflorendo@pagibigfund.gov.ph or Mr. Joel Prado at jiprado@pagibigfund.gov.ph. Next slide please. So should you have questions about your benefits of being Pag-ibig Fund member, so feel free po to contact us via this service channels at 8pag-ibig or 8724-4244 or email us at contact@pagibigfund.gov.ph or chat with us at www.pagibigfund.gov.ph or you can also check our FB page at /Pag-ibig official page. Next slide please. Muli po, ako po si Engineer Richard M. Roque, your lingkod Pag-ibig. Magandang umaga po sa ating lahat.
Thank you, Engineer Richard. So you may also visit the official Facebook accounts of all the key shelter agencies. All right. So at this moment, Engineer Roque will now be entertaining questions both from the Q&A box here in Zoom and from our audience in the Facebook Live. So you may key in your questions now, Engineer Richard.
Yes, thank you, Ms. Jamie. So let me read lang po yung mga questions po. Ayan, this is from Miss Debbie Sanchez. Pwede po ba makapag-loan ng home improvement kahit existing pang housing loan? So the answer po to that is yes. Pwede pa rin po kayo mag-avail ng another housing loan with Pag-ibig Fund, provided po kaya po ng inyo pong capacity to pay at hindi po lalagpas sa 6 million ang inyo pong total obligation with Pag-ibig Fund. This is also, we need to also consider po the status of your existing loan po with Pag-ibig Fund. Dapat po ito ay updated. So to answer you po, Ma'am Debbie, yes, pwede pa rin po kayong makapag-avail at ma-evaluate po namin for a housing. Next, this is from FB page po, Mr. JJ Jamaleo. Paano po pag self-employed na? Pwede pa din po ba mag-loan? So ang kagandahan, the answer to that po is yes. We just need to establish po the capacity to pay of the member. We need to check po the documents that you will be presenting to us. If you are now a self-employed, pwede po natin yan ma-establish through your ITR, the audited financial statements. Dun po yung mga sample po of the documents that we will be requiring po from you to establish po the regularity of your income. Let me check lang po, another question. Yan. From FB, Miss Vanessa Ambal, actually this is the same po, Possible po ba mag-apply ng housing loan kahit existing housing loan pa po? Ito po yung sagot po natin kanina. Yes, it's possible po mag-apply po for another housing loan. So ang next na tanong po, pwede po ba kami kumuha through developers? Meron po kasi malapit sa amin. Gusto ko ang unit nila. Kailangan po ba namin pumunta sa Pag-ibig Fund para mag-apply? So we just like to take this opportunity rin po to inform everybody po that Pag-ibig Fund has around 500 plus accredited developers. So pwede po i-check nyo po sa inyong sa developer po na malapit po sa inyo if they're accredited, and if they're accredited, sila na po ang magpoproseso po. They will just be requiring the documents. They will document your income documents, and they will be the one to submit it to Pag-ibig Fund for evaluation. Yan. And last question po, may mga properties po na binibenta ang ilang developers na napag-alaman namin na accredited ng Pag-ibig Fund. Paano ito mabibili sa pamamagitan ng Pag-ibig Housing Loan? Is this correct? So, ang sagot po dyan, yes, it's correct po, Pwede po, meron tayo talaga mga accredited developers na pwede nyo pong i-coordinate at pwede po kayo po doon kumuha ng po mga housing loan or dream homes para po sa inyong mga pamilya. Miss Jamie.
Thank you, Engineer Richard. At napakarami po ng mga questions natin dito po sa inyo pong topic. But then, of course, we'd like to thank you, and you may also visit the official Facebook accounts of all the key shelter agencies to relay your questions. It's now flashed on your screen. Ayan po, nakikita po natin. So, for all unanswered questions, they shall be forwarded to the concerned housing agency, and a representative from the KSAs or key shelter agencies will get back to you as soon as possible. Muli po, maraming salamat po kay Engineer Richard sa inyo pong oras, and he is our first speaker from Pag-ibig Fund. But then, meron po tayong announcement before we proceed upang matugunan po ng tamang ahensya ang inyo pong mga katanungan, lalong-lalo na po dun sa Facebook Live natin. I-type po muna ninyo ang pangalan ng ahensya kasunod po ng inyong tanong. Halimbawa po, kung ang inyong tanong ay para po sa NHA, i-type po ang NHA / ang inyong pong katanungan. So, ganun po ang ating format para po madali pong masagot ng ating pong mga speakers at gayon din ang ating pong mga support team ang inyong pong mga katanungan to different key shelter agencies. So muli po maraming salamat, Engineer Roque. At this point, let's now proceed to our next speaker. Today's speaker is known for his work on projects aimed at contributing to the economic sustenance of communities under the stewardship of the Social Housing Finance Corporation. His team was behind the successful livelihood programs of the agency, including the cashew processing initiative in Puerto Princesa City in Palawan and dressmaking project in Quezon City. He joined the Social Housing Finance Corporation or SHOPC in 2006 as insurance underwriter. After a 6-year stint at the NHMFC and in 2018, he assumed the position of manager of the Insurance and Community Enhancement Division under the Program Development and Enhancement Department. Ladies and gentlemen, to discuss about Social Housing Finance Corporation's Community Mortgage Program, let us now welcome Mr. Cesar Macaspac. Good morning and welcome, Sir Cesar.
Thank you, Miss Jamie. Kumusta kayong lahat ng mga kaagapay sa lahat, no? Sana sa pagtatapos ng ating activity na ito ay nabigyang kasagutan namin ang mga agam-agam ng inyong mga sarili at sana matulungan namin kayong maengganyo magkaroon ng sariling tahanan sa pamamagitan po ng Community Mortgage Program. Muli, ako po si Cesar Macaspac from Social Housing. Ang Social Housing po ay the youngest attached agency in the Department of Human Settlement and Urban Development. As we all know, SHOPC cater to our informal settler family. So are we familiar with the program offered by SHOPC? Ano-ano nga ba ang programa ng SHOPC? Para lubos tayong maintindihan ng ating mga kababayan, ang aking presentasyon ay aking ilalahad sa wikang Pilipino. Let's begin. Ang Social Housing Finance Corporation ay itinatag sa bisa ng Executive Order 272 noong 2004. Ang unang nakapatupad ng programang Community Mortgage Program ay ang National Home Mortgage Finance Corporation noong 1988. Ngunit noong 2006, inilipat ang programang CMP sa Social Housing Finance Corporation. Ano po ba ang mandato ng Social Housing? Develop, implement, and social housing program for the low-income families in the informal and formal sector. Sino-sino po ba itong mga informal sector? Ito po ay mga kinikita ng minimum wage at hindi fixed ang income. Kagaya ng mga tricycle at jeepney drivers, sari-sari stores owner, mga vendors, magsasaka at mga mangingisda o mga arawan ang kita. Next slide please. Our vision, by year 2022, SHOPC shall have provided 530,000 organized homeless and low-income families with flexible, affordable, innovative, and responsive shelter solution to their housing needs. Bakit nga po ba organized homeless? Ang lahat ng papasok sa programang Community Mortgage ay kailangan nakaregistered sa Human Settlements Adjudication Commission ng DSHUD upang ganap na maging legal ang isang community associations. Next slide please. Our vision to empower and uplift the living conditions of underprivileged communities by building adequate, livable, affordable, and inclusive Filipino communities. Sa pamamagitan po ng Community Needs Assessment na isinasagawa ng Social Housing Finance Corporation, na-assess namin kung ano ang mga pangangailangan ng mga community members at kung ano ang mga kailangang intervention sa isang organized community. Nagbibigay po kami ng mga libreng capacity building at ginagamit din po namin ang budget ng Gender and Development upang may angat ang antas ng pamumuhay ng mga kababaihan at mga kalalakihan sa isang community. Kami ay nakikipag-partner sa national and local government as well as the civil society organization and the private sector to support the underprivileged communities. Next slide please. What is our legal basis? Under Republic Act number 7279 or Urban Development and Housing Act. Very specific po yung batas ng aming programa. Yung Community Mortgage Program is a mortgage financing program which assists legally organized association on underprivileged and homeless citizens to purchase and develop tract of land under the community ownership. Ang Social Housing Finance Corporation po ay hindi nagbibigay ng individual loan. Ang Community Mortgage Program ay community loan. The primary objectives of this program is to assist residents, especially po doon sa mga depressed area, to own the lot they occupied. Ito po yung tinatawag namin sa programa na on-site project or where they choose to relocate. No, kung hindi po magkakasundo yung community association para bilhin po doon sa landowner renewal at lilipat po sila, no? At tinatawag naman po namin doon ay off-site project. Kung hindi po fully developed yung lugar, nag-o-offer po ang social housing ng site development. Next slide please. Gayon din po sa Republic Act 7835 o Comprehensive and Integrated Shelter Financing Act. Ang SAPSI po ay nagbibigay ng pinakamababang interest rate sa ating mga kababayan na maralita para lalo kung kayo ay mag-a-avail ng off-site project. Mamaya po, later on, i-discuss ko po kung paano po i-avail yung pinakamababang interest rate at 2% per annum at payable po siya ng 30 to 35 years pero po base po yan doon sa edad ng ating borrowers upon approval ng loan. And then next slide please. At tumutugon din po kami dito sa Magna Carta Portable. No? Dito kami naka-align doon sa aming, diniscuss ko kasi sa inyo kanina doon sa mission namin, no? Yung uplift the standard of living and the quality of life of the poor. And also dito rin po sa section 4, no, yung right to adequate housing para po ito sa ating mga maralit na mga mamayan ng Pilipinas. Next slide please. Our guiding principle, housing is a basic human right, not a commodity. Ang pagkakaroon ng sariling bahay ay karapatan ng bawat Pilipino. Housing entails building sustainable community, not just houses. Holistic intervention is necessary. The real measure of the performance is the number of houses actually occupied, not just the number of units built. Next slide please. Housing finance must be affordable and community-driven. Bibigyan ko lang po ng emphasis itong community-driven. Napaka-unique po ng aming programa, no, sapagkat meron kami tinatawag na People's Plan Approach kung saan nagpaplano po ang mga membro kasama po ang aming mga partners para pag-usapan po yung housing and community development plan, negotiations with the landowner and developer, managing and maintaining their own housing and community, monitoring of the construction, and nagpo-provide din po kami ng state management training para makagawa ng deed of restriction para manapanatili ang kaayusan ng kanilang community. The role of the LGU is indispensable. Napakahalaga po ng partners namin na LGU sapagkat almost ng mga documentary na kakailanganin namin ay nagmumula po sa LGU. Partnership are crucial. Meron po kami mga tinatawag na partners, no? Yung mga partners mo namin ay tinatawag namin na CMP mobilizers at mga contractor para po gabayan po kami o tulungan sa pag-oordinasa sa mga community na gustong pumasok sa programang CMP at i-educate sila about the program. At ina-assistahan din po nila sa pagkuha ng mga documents na kakailanganin sa programa. Next slide please. Social empowerment and capacity building and gender sensitivity. Ito ay mga ilan lamang sa mga libreng training na binibigay ng Social Housing Finance Corporation at nakikipag-collaborate po kami sa mga iba't ibang ahensya ng gobyerno kagaya po ng TESDA, DTI at mga non-government organization. Kagaya po ng mga training na ibinibigay namin ay leadership, financial literacy, state management, basic bookkeeping, gender sensitivity training, violence against women and their children, financial management, And napapanahon po tayo ngayon, no, dahil sa pabago-bago ng mga klima natin, no, yung management, disaster risk management, and climate change. Ito pong mga trainings na to ay malaki po ang maitutulong sa ating mga komunidad na pumasok sa community mortgage program. Next slide, please. Purposes of CMP loan. Kung ang mga ISF ay nag-occupy nang hindi nila pag-aari ang lupang kinatitirikan nila ng kanilang mga bahay ng ilang taon at willing ibenta ng landowner sa community. Pwede nyo po itong ipasok sa CMP under lot acquisition loan or tinatawag natin na phase 2. Again, kung hindi pa po fully develop yung lugar ng community, nag-o-offer po ang social housing ng site development loan or phase 2. Para naman po sa ating mga kababayan na miyembro ng community, kung nais niyo pong pagandahin ang kanilang mga bahay, nag-o-offer din po ang social housing ng house improvement o yung tinatawag natin na phase 3. Next slide please. Magkano po ba ang pwedeng i-avail na loan per member or per family? Under po dito sa on-site project, ang pwede nilang ma-loan ay 480,000 per family, payable siya within 25 years at interest rate at 6% per annum. Next slide please. Kung hindi po nagkasundo yung community at yung landowner na bilhin yung lupa, ang community po ay maghahanap ng kanilang paglilipatan at tatawagin naman po natin itong off-site project. Doon sa off-site project, kailangan pong i-avail ay full package. Kasama po dito yung land acquisition, site development, and house construction. Ito po yung sinasabi ko, no, yung pinakamababang interest rate na magsisimula po sa 2% per annum or 4% per annum or 4.5% per annum. Ang pinakamaganda po dito, pinababa po ng ang interest rate, pinahaba pa rin po namin yung repayment term na simula 30 years hanggang 35 years. Pero subject pa rin po ito sa edad ng borrower upon approval ng community loan. Next slide. Dito po sa full package, meron po kami dalawang klaseng project. Isa po ay ang socialized subdivision project base po sa resulta ng People's Plan na pinag-uusapan o yung pinagtanungan during the People's Plan. Ang pwede nyo pong i-avail na pinakamataas na loan per families is 580,000 at ang pinakamababa po na pwedeng i-loan sa amin ay 480,000 per family. Depende po iyan doon sa sukat ng plano. Okay? Next slide please. Meron po din kami tinatawag na socialized condominium project. Ito po ay base sa Board Resolution number 2 dated 2018, April 27, 2018. May mga areas po kami na babanggitin po dito sa inyong mga screen, kagaya po ng NCR, San Jose del Monte, Bulacan, Cainta, Antipolo, Carmona, San Pedro, and Imus and Bacoor cities. Ang pwede po nilang i-avail is 750,000 per families. Ang pinakamababa po is 700,000. For other areas po, 600,000 ang pinakamababa at ang pinakamataas po ay 650,000 families per families. Next slide please. Sino-sino po ba yung pwede makinabang ng programang CMP na ino-offer ng social housing? Mga priority po namin ng mga informal sector families ay kung kayo po ay mga ito, legally organized ISFs, living in danger zones, those affected by government IMPA projects, those with court, demolition, or with demand to vacate by landowner who are affected by disaster or LGU priority. Next slide please. Ano po ba ang mga qualification ng isang member beneficiary na papasok sa programang Community Mortgage Program? Kailangan daw po ay Filipino citizen, kasama po sa informal settlers and belonging to low income bracket. Minention ko na po yan kung sino-sino po sila. At pinakamalaga po sa aming programa, para ma-enjoy po ang programa, kailangan at least 18 years old upon community loan approval but below 60 years old. Paano naman po yung edad 60 but not beyond 65? Nire-require po namin na mag-submit ng additional requirement ng underwriting requirement para po ito sa pagko-cover namin ng mortgage redemption insurance. And next, has not availed of any government housing program. Kung kayo po ay nag-avail na sa Pag-ibig, LHA, SSS, or GSIS o mga ibang sangay ng gobyerno, hindi na po kayo entitled na mag-avail ng community mortgage program. At siyempre po, ang hindi po namin ina-allowed yung mga professional squatter. Next slide please. Sa amin pong pagpuproseso ng inyong project application, upon completion ng documentary requirement ay hinihingi namin 90 days working. Pinoprocess po namin ang inyong proyekto para mabayaran. All loans applications submitted to SACSI must be undergo a due diligence review before the approval to ensure that the funds are disbursed prudently and according to its mandate. Paano po ba namin inuubos yung 90 days working days? Next slide please. Binibiyak po namin ang inyong folders to sa documents, no? Simultaneously, pinoprocess po namin yung loan examination, background investigation, mortgage examination, and yung site inspection. So pumupunta po yan sa filing of loan application with the complete documents, processing of project application, pinapasok po namin yung project for board approval, and the last is yung pag-release ng pondo. Next slide please. We have 12 new modalities, no? Yung community mortgage barrier. So, next slide please. Meron po kami tinatawag na on-site CNP and site upgrading or development CNP. Ito po ay kagaya ng sinabi ko kanina na hawig ito sa on-site project intended for organized communities for informal settler families who are already resident in area without the consent of the landowner. Again, ang requirement po dito, kailangan mapapayag po natin na yung landowner maibenta doon sa mga community members. Next slide please. Meron po kami tinatawag na special project intended for project affected by families of national government agent. Kagaya po ng proyekto ng ating kasamahan sa Department of Interior and Local Government at yung DOTR doon sa railways. No? So lahat ng affected families doon, i-relocate po natin at tatawagin po natin itong special project. Next slide please. Meron po tayong tinatawag na vertical CNP, a CNP modality wherein a community of informal settlers are accommodated in a multi-story building. Usually ito po yung sinasabi kong off-site project. No? Pag hindi po nagkasundo, yung landowner na ibenta sa community, hanap po ang community ng kanilang paglilipatan at tatawagin po natin na project na ito ay vertical CNP. Next slide. Meron po din kami tinatawag na new modality under the LGU-CNP. Ito po yung initiative and implemented by the local government unit. This may become into the form of a CNP resettlement project or the other LGU shelter program. Usually ito po, kung may mga public land ang LGU, at pwede nila pag-identify sila ng mga informal settlers, pwede po itong pagtayuan ng LGU at ipapasok po ito sa CNP. So usually, ang project po namin dito is yung site development and house construction. Binibigyan po namin ng pagkakataon yung community within 2 years na pwede rin nilang i-avail yung lot acquisition. Next slide please. Para man po sa ating mga kababayan na magsasaka na wala pa rin po sariling lupa at bahay, ang minimum requirement po sa farm lot CNP with a maximum area of 500 square meter or a maximum lot area of 1,000 square meter per member beneficiary. Yung 10% ng 500 or 1,000 square meter is intended po doon sa kanilang housing unit. Next slide please. Sectoral CMP. A sectoral group represents a group of coalition of persons who share similar concern and interest intended to avail of resettlement assistance from SAMC. So kung kayo ay may mga coalition or group, kagaya po ng mga mangingisda, mag-form lang po kayo ng associations at i-register nyo sa EDSA. Pwede nyo pong gamitin itong modality nito na sectoral CMP. Next slide please. Ito po yung pinaka-modern na programa ng social housing, no? Yung mixed use or yung township CMP. Kagaya po ng mga nakikita natin sa mga programa sa mga SM, no? Yung mga unit nila na yung lower or yung ground floor or first floor ginagawa natin commercial, well-developed infrastructure and recreational amenities along with the green and open space as well as wellness area. So kung kayo po ay ayaw nyo umalis sa mga cities, pwede nyo pong avail itong mixed-use township CMP. Next slide please. Culturally sensitive CMP. Ito po ay para po sa mga qualified indigenous peoples or mga cultural communities and ethnic and religious minority group. So ganun din po ang pinaka-minimum requirement po na para ma-avail po ito, magpo-form po kayo ng isang samahan or community associations. Next slide please. Para po naman po sa ating mga kababayan na nagbabalik loob sa gobyerno, yung ating mga kapatid na mga rebelde, binibigyan po namin ng housing law for housing for peace and process, housing for peace process and nations building para po kayo makapagsimula at magkaroon ng sariling bahay at lupa. Next slide please. CMP modalities, kung kayo po ay affected ng disaster, pwede po kayong mag-avail ng post-disaster rehabilitation and reconstructions of CMP. Next slide please. Industrial workers CMP, especially po ito yung mga low-income earners natin, no? Yung mga below minimum wage, pwede rin po kayong sumama at sumabi sa amin sa programang community mortgage. Again, uling pinaka-basic na requirement namin, gagawa po kayo ng samahan at i-register niyo po sa EDSA. Next slide please. Turnkey CMP, a CMP modality that aims to accelerate socialized housing provision to the development and complete housing project on a turnkey basis. Kung meron na po tayong ma-identify na tapos na pong subdivision, special socialized subdivision, no? Pwede pong bilhin ng social housing yan at pwede ipautang po sa mga community members. Next slide. So ito po yung sinasabi kong bagong interest rate. Paano po ba i-avail ng ating mga kababayan na gustong pumasok sa programang CMP? Ito lang po ay para lang or applicable lang po ito sa full package or yung tinatawag natin na off-site project. So nagbibigay kami ng 2% interest rate payable siya within 35 years. Base po yan sa income decile. Kung kayo po ay makategory sa first decile hanggang second decile, pwede nyo pong may enjoy ang 2% per annum. Base po iyan sa average family monthly income versus average family expenses. Kung hindi po kayo pumasa sa ganung kategory, pupunta po tayo doon sa third decile at 4% per annum payable pa siya within 30 years. No? Kung ang inyong family income ay 25,190 pesos and 50 centavos. So sinasabi ko po dito, no, hindi po mahigpit ang social housing in terms of affordability rate. Hindi lang po yung member beneficiary ang tinitingnan namin yung kung magkano ang kita. Tinitingnan namin kung ano ang kita ng buong pamilya para mag-qualify po dito sa mga sinasabi kong mga amount. Punta naman po tayo doon, no, sa 4th hanggang 7th decile. Kung kayo po ay nakategory po dyan, kayo po ay pwede mag-avail ng 4.5% per annum at payable po siya within 30 years. The rest po is 6%, payable po siya within 30 years. Again po, ito pong aming new interest rate. Nagsimula po ito noong January 2020. At uulitin ko po doon sa repayment term na 35 years or 30 years. Subject po iyan doon sa edad ng borrower upon community loan approval. Next slide please. I think this is last one, no? Ayan po, diyan po nagtatapos ang aming presentasyon. Para po sa mga karagdagan impormasyon, maaari niyo pong bisitahin at i-like ang aming official Facebook, facebook.com.ph, o kaya tumawag sa 0917-8022740. Ulitin ko po, no? 0917-8022740 o kaya sa 0917-8397432. Muli po ang inyong kapatid, si Cesar Macaspac, lagi niyong kaagabay mula sa Social Housing Finance Corporation. Maraming salamat po.
Thank you, Sir Cesar. Ngayon po ay kukuha naman tayo ng ilang mga tanong na nakapost sa ating Q&A box dito sa Zoom at mula sa ating Facebook live chat. Sir Cesar?
Wait lang ha, po tayo. Yan, para naman po sa suno, from Desiree May Kasilang. Paano po ba mag-avail dyan sa community mortgage program? Again po, ulitin ko, no, sa diniscuss ko kanina sa inyo, kung hindi pa po kayo, wala pa po kayong samahan or community association, dapat po bumuo muna po kayo at iparehistro po sa EDSAC ng DSHUD upang maging legal ang inyong samahan. Pag naka-register na po kayo sa EDSAC, i-issuean po kayo na tinatawag na certificate, no? And then, doon sa certificate na yun, i-issuean din po kayo na tinatawag na bylaws. Yung bylaws po na yun, yun po ang gagamitin ninyo para mapanatili at maayos ang inyong community. Second basic din po ng gagawin na gusto pumasok sa community, no? Kailangan nakikipag-usap sa landowner na kinatitirikan ng inyong mga bahay kung willing ba itong ibenta sa community. Kung willing naman po, so pwede nyo pong i-avail ito under the CMP ng lot acquisition. At pinaka-third na basic na dapat gawin ng isang samahan, dapat po kumuha kayo ng isang accredited CMP mobilizer or CMP contractor para sa inyong proyekto. Para gabayan po kayo doon sa pag-oorganisa. Mahirap po kasi yung pag-oorganisa sa inyong mga miyembro, no? Para turuan po kayo kung ano po ang dapat gawin. At the same time, malaman niyo po yung mga detalyado ng programang ino-offer ng social housing. At gabayan din po kayo sa pag-secure ng mga documentary na hihingin ng social housing. Okay? Next, naman po tayo sa Facebook Live. Kami po ay affected ng road widening sa aming lugar. Ano po yung pwede namin gawin para makapag-apply sa CMP? So automatic po ito, no, kung kayo ay affected at pinapaalis na po doon ng government project ng gobyerno, no, lahat po ng affected families, pwede po kayo magtipon at pag-usapan na kayo ay papasok sa program ng CMP. Again, doon sa basic requirement namin, uulitin ko po, kailangan mag-create po kayo ng community associations. Ang pinakaiba lang po noong on-site project, kailangan full package po yung inyong i-avail. Yung lot acquisition, site development, and house construction. While doon sa on-site project, kahit lot acquisition lang po, yung i-avail ninyo, kung required po ng Board of Directors ng SHAPC na kailangan yung site ng lugar ay fully developed, ang minimum requirement po natin kasi dito is yung kalsada po dapat nadadaanan ng mini fire truck ng bumbero. So pag hindi po at masikip po yung daan, kailangan niyo po mag-avail ng site development. Okay? Next. Para naman po sa Zoom, mga participants natin, ano-ano ang pwede namin i-avail sa SAPC. So again, uulitin ko po, may on-site at off-site project kami. And then doon po sa mga 12 modalities na binanggit po kanina sa inyo, yung on-site project hanggang turnkey. So kung gusto niyo po ang detalyadong informasyon at requirements po dito, pwede po kayo makipag-unayan po sa amin head office located at Makati Avenue Corner, Paseo City, Paseo de Rojas, BDO Plaza po kami. At meron din po kami sa mga regional offices, no? Babanggitin ko na lang po ng very quick. Sa Naga, Isabela, Casambuanga, Cagayan de Oro, Palawan, Cebu, Iloilo, Bacolod, Davao City, General Santos, Dapitan, at Tacloban. So doon yung po kami pwedeng kontakin. And then, last na siguro, pangatlo, from FB. Paano po kapag namatay na ang aming member beneficiary kasi bago lang po katete out ang aming project? So ganito po, diniscuss po namin kanina kahit po sa pag-ibig, meron tayong tinatawag na mortgage redemption insurance. Sa computation po ng inyong monthly amortization, naka-incorporate na po doon yung premium. Sa Social Housing Finance Corporation, ang aming premium rate ay 35 centavos every 1,000 of the loan. No, kung kayo ay namatay, kagaya po na sinabi ng ating kapatid doon sa pag-ibig, fully paid na po ang inyong account. And then, kung ito po ay updated. Okay, next na tanong. Para sa FB ulit. Paano po namin nakukuha ang aming titulo? Ayan, medyo mahirap po kasi kumuha ng titulo ngayon, especially sa programang CMP, dahil sinusunod tayong process. So, upon negotiation po doon sa landowner at papasok na po sa programang CMP, yung titles name, itinatransfer muna po natin yan doon sa community's name. So once na ma-approve po iyan, saka pa lang po ipoproseso ng mga community leaders yung individualizations noong mother title para maisalin po sa pangalan ng mga miyembro. So upon unitizations po ng mother title at gusto niyo na pong bayaran yung outstanding loan balance o yung loan value na in-avail nyo under the CMP, anytime po, pwede na po namin i-release ang inyong title. Okay? So, I think, last na po yung question na yan. Thank you po sa inyong lahat at magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat. Thank you, Ma'am Jamie.
Thank you very much, Sir Cesar. And yes, we're acknowledging all your questions and the queries. So please do not worry. We are forwarding them to the concerned agencies for their reply. You may also visit the official Facebook accounts of all the key shelter agencies to relay your questions. And it's now flashed on the screen. At meron din po tayong announcement para po sa lahat ng mga ibig magtanong, pakisubmit po ang kanilang mga katanungan sa ating Q&A box. At upang ito po ay aming matugunan, ito rin po ay upang mapadalhan namin kayo ng inyong ng tugon, no? So, sa pamamagitan po ito ng email address na inyong ginamit sa pagrehistro, dito pa rin po sa ating webinar. So, kung kapusin man po tayo ng oras sa pagsagot ngayong umaga, maraming salamat po. There you go. Again, for all unanswered questions, rest assured that they are forwarded to the key shelter agencies and a representative will get in touch with you. Thank you so much again, Sir Cesar. Our third speaker for today is from the National Housing Authority. Ladies and gentlemen, we are happy to be joined by the National Program Coordinator for Government Employees Housing Program, AFP and PNP Housing Program, and OFW Housing Program of the National Housing Authority. We have with us today Engineer Lian D. Villanueva. Magandang umaga po, Engineer Lian.
Hello, good morning everyone. Thank you, Ma'am Jamie, for acknowledging me. We're ready to start. Ayan. Thank you very much. Sige po, I'll share screen na. Thank you. Allow me to start with a video presentation.
50 years. the NHA is committed to constructing quality homes, building better lives. As we embark.
Ayan, so nag-start po ako sa ating video presentation. Pasensyahan na po ako walang green screen because of, ayan. So ganyan lang po muna ang aking cam. And kinabahan ako bigla. We have 825 participants in the Zoom right now. And I am very happy to welcome everyone on board. Maraming pong salamat and thank you for being with us today. Representing po from National Housing Authority, this is Engineer Lian Villanueva at your service po. So, ngayon, start na lang po tayo regarding the National Housing Authority. Alam naman po natin, ang National Housing Authority ay 45 years na of service. And over the 45 years, iba't ibang programa na po ni NHA ang ating nakita at ang kanyang na-implementa over the 45 years. We have different programs, the resettlement programs, which we are, syempre alam naman po natin, ang pinakamandato ni NHA ay mag-provide ng pabahay para sa ating mga low-income earners as well as the informal sectors living in danger areas. So isa po sa programa ni NHA at isa sa mandato ni NHA ang programang aking ilalathala o ipipresenta sa inyo. So ako'y magtataglish na po, Tagalog-English, kasi po para at least naintindihan po ng ating mga manonood or yung mga present dito sa ating Zoom and Facebook Live. So, maayong buntag. Good morning everyone. Magandang umaga. So, presenting po for the Government Employees Housing Program. Ito po ay isang programa ni National Housing Authority. Ang Government Employees Housing Program or GEP ay ang program po na intended for the low-salaried government employees housing po under the Armed Forces of the Philippines or yung mga uniform personnel, which covers AFP, PNP, BGMP, Bucor at saka po si BFP. Ito po yung unang programa ni NHA para po sa ating mga kasanduluhan. Ito yung mga AFP, PNP housing po natin. And then next slide po. Ayan po yung mga pabahay na makikita nyo. Usually the AFP PNP housing po are located nationwide. So from Region 1 to Region 13, meron po tayong mga pabahay for the AFP PNP. So this AFP PNP housing program, ito po yung na-construct siguro that was 2013. Yun po ang start ng AFP PNP housing program. So syempre nag-evolve na tayo over the years and of course with the initiative of President Rodrigo Roa Duterte, nagkaroon po ng clamor ang ating mga AFP PNP na sana naman daw po ay lakihan or enhance natin ang kanilang mga pabahay. Kaya naman po the NHA came up with the Government Employees Housing Program, enhancing all the unit or yung mga model house po natin. So next slide please. Ayan, the Government Employees Housing Program. Ito po yung nakikita nyo sa ating mga FB page. Marami na po ang ating mga likers dyan and mga sharers dyan for the Government Employees Housing Program. Ito po ang mga bagong programa ni NHA na makikita nyo po ang iba't ibang housing model type ni NHA na meron na tayong mga duplex, meron na tayong mga medium-rise building, mga low-rise building, condominium type, and of course the two-story duplex. Yun na po yung mga bago nating programa or mga bagong pabahay na in-offer natin para sa ating mga government employees. I know meron po tayong mga OFWs right now. So, yung mga OFWs po natin, they can also avail of this program. So, meron po tayong mga presentation later on. So, next slide, ma'am. So, bigyan ko lang po kayo ng konting background. Ano ba ang pinagsimula ni Government Employees Housing Program or GEP? Ang Government Housing or GEP po natin was formulated in line with Section number 2 of AO number 9, 2011. Katulad nga po ng nabanggit po kanina, ito po ay pinagsimula ng AFP-PNP Housing Program at sa NHA po ang nabigyan ng direktiba para ito ay i-formulate, i-manage, and siya po ang mag-lead ng implementation. At dahil nga po sa clamor din naman ng ating mga government employees, bakit nga ba naman hindi pati yung mga government employees natin dapat meron din naman po tayong mga housing, hindi lang ating mga uniform personnel. So we extended the implementation or the program acknowledging the request of our government employees. So ito na po yung ating Government Employees Housing Program. Paulit-ulit ko pong sasabihin that this is GEP, and these GEP projects are implemented under the agency's community-based initiative approach. So syempre po, kailangan meron munang initiative ng ating community para po sila ang mag-benefits ng ating mga pabahay. So ang objectives po ng ating GEP ay unang-una to promote competitive and commendable units sa publiko. Siyempre naman po, gusto namin na matuwa kayo sa mga pabahay po na ibinibigay ng ating gobyerno. Ang socialized housing po natin ngayon, ito na yung ating batayan para sa mga socialized housing natin. Most especially, of course, our public servants. Unang-una po kayo at kayo ang aming priority when it comes to implementing these projects or constructing these projects. It is also to provide opportunity para sa ating mga government employees na makapag-apply naman po ng pabahay na binibigay or in-offer ng ating gobyerno. To expand housing options for government employees in need of a home they can call their own. Alam naman po natin na meron pa rin tayo kailangan i-address na housing backlog nationwide. So NHA is also one of the agency na gustong-gusto rin po tayo matulungan na makahanap naman ng pabahay na para sa atin. Kung choose the right one for us. Sabi nila. So, after po ng ating objectives, I will now present to you kung ano po ba at anong pinagsimula ng ating meron po kasi tayong mga polisiya regarding dito. So, ito po yung percentage po natin or a portion to mga various agencies. Siyempre po, since ang ating AFP, PNP ang pangunahin po nating benepisyaryo, sila po ang maraming porsyento or kung meron tayong 1,000 units, meron silang 350 units na pwedeng ma-avail. Ayan po yung percentage basis natin. So next slide, Ma'am Keith. At para naman po pag-umpisahan natin at para naman po makita ninyo ang mga bagong projects na NHA, syempre ayoko naman po na sabi lang nila, uy, ang daming sinasabi nito. Pakita naman natin yung actual na yan. So, ito po ang ating mga completed projects. The completed project under the GEP, which anchored under the biyaya ng pagbabago of President Rodrigo Roa Duterte is the Scout Rangerville. Ayan, napupulol na ako. Scout Rangerville po, which is located in Barangay Kalumpang, or this one is in Bulacan, San Miguel, Bulacan. Ito na po yung mga bagong projects or bagong units na pinipresent sa inyo ni NHA. Yan po ang actual po na yan. Ang mga features po ng ating pabahay dyan ay 2 bedrooms. Open po ang garage niyan. Ayan po ay may lote na 150 square meters at ang kanyang floor area ay 60 square meters. Ito po exclusive lang po sa ating AFP, which is the Scout Ranger. Ayan po ang kanilang naging demand or request. Katulad nga po na nabanggit ko na ito sa community base, ito po yung gusto or request ng ating first Scout Ranger Regiment na nakalocate naman po sa Bulacan. So syempre, ayaw naman natin na ang Scout Ranger ay maging exclusive lang sa kanilang pabahay. Nagtayo rin po sa NHA ng mga 2-story duplex. So next slide na po tayo. Ito naman yung mga ongoing projects na to. Why am I presenting these ongoing projects? Kasi po dito kayo pwedeng mag-avail ng mga projects natin or ng mga units natin. The government employees, the OFWs can already apply for these projects, for these units. So, unahin po natin, sabi ko nga, nationwide po located ang ating mga project. Unahin natin ang Region 1. Meron po tayong Santa Monica Homes located in Barangay Santa Asuncion, San Nicolas, Ilocos Norte. 400 housing units po ito and may maximum of 30 years to pay. Ito po yung mga specifications ng bahay. This is a 2-story duplex, a 60 square meters po na floor area and a lot area of 80 square meters. Dalawa po ang bedroom nito at saka dalawang toilet and bath. Tsaka meron po siyang open for garage. Yan po talaga yung actual na pictures po ng ating mga unit. This is already ready for occupancy. So, pumunta lamang po kayo sa nearest district office ng NHA so you can apply for this housing. Ang next naman po natin ay papakita ko kung gaano kalapit yung mga nearby establishment. Pag po tayo ay nagko-consider na gusto nating magkabahay, syempre, di ba ang iniisip natin, malapit kaya ito sa mga facilities like police station, yung mga schools ng aking mga anak, saan ko sila ipag-aaral, di ba? So ang NHA po, kinoconsider niya po yan. Meron po tayong policy at guidelines na kinoconsider pag po tayo ay nagtatayo. At dapat within 5-kilometer radius, pasok po yung mga facilities natin, like for example, the police station, barangay hall. Siyempre, mas accessible po dapat sa atin yon. So ito po ang location ng ating San Nicolas Housing or Santa Monica Homes. And then next po is the presentation of our actual model po ng bahay. Hindi po kasama yung sasakyan pag binili, pero ganyan na po ang ating mga pabahay ngayon. O, di ba? Mala subdivision na po siya ngayon. Malaki na rin po ang ating mga roads right now. We also have a marker para po mas madali ninyong matunton yung ating mga housing projects. So, next slide, ma'am. Ito naman po, yung pinapakita kong model is kanina nabanggit ko na pwede kayo mag 2-bedroom or 2-bathroom. Pwede rin po ninyo kasing i-convert yung bathroom ninyo into a study area. Very spacious na po yung ating mga bahay ngayon. So, moving forwards, dahil konti lang po ang aking time, I will present from Region 1 to 13. Ito po yung Woodstown. This is located in Barangay Villa Rosario, La Union. Ang magagawa po natin na number of housing units dito is 500 units. Pareho lang din po ang ating specifications. Ang pinagkakaiba po ng ating mga 2-story duplex is yung accessibility as well as yung location. Every housing projects for GEP or housing projects for GEP are very accessible to the public and of course the community facilities. Like I've mentioned po kanina, 5 kilometers lang po or within 5 kilometers kailangan nandoon po tayo or nandoon natin yung mga community facilities natin. So ito po yung Woodstown natin. Kung gusto niyo pong mag-avail yan, pwede po kayo. Later po, ibibigay ko sa inyo kung paano mas magiging easy yung pag-a-avail or pag-a-apply nyo ng mga housing units. So magre-region 3 po muna ako. After po ng Woodstown, yan po yung location. Pwede niyo po yung i-Google Map pag po kayo ay mag-visit. Sige nga, tignan natin kung totoo na merong project sa NHA doon. So pwede niyo po yung tignan sa Google Map na makita niyo po ang Woodstown. At pwede po kasi may mga marker naman po going to the site. So Region 3 naman tayo sa mga taga Nueva Ecija. We have Barangay Manaknak, Palayan City, Nueva Ecija. This is Acacia Greenfield Homes with the same specification pa rin po. Yan po yung actual po na model ng bahay. Ipapapresent ko po sa inyo. Yan. Next slide, ma'am. Yan po ang bahay or ang Acacia Greenfields. Makikita niyo po yan kasi very accessible dahil nasa national road lang po siya. So, makikita nyo kaagad yung marker na Acacia Greenfields. This is one is located in Barangay Palayan. Ang kaya po or constructed units for this is 500 units. And then, next stop na po. Ayan. Sige ma'am. Let's move forward para makita nyo po yung interior design. Kung pwede nyong gayahin, ganyan po yung itsura ng ating mga pabahay. Diba? Sobrang enhanced na po at enhanced po yung ating mga design for our socialized housing na fino-formulate at ini-implement po ni NHA para sa ating mga government employees. Ang next naman po, the one in Nueva Ecija also is Camp Magsaysay. So gusto natin medyo talagang sa city tayo, meron tayo sa Cabanatuan. So Barangay Kalikid Sur po ito, Cabanatuan City. Bakit po namin pinapangalan? Makikita nyo may camp. Kasi po mas malapit po sila dun sa mga kampo ng ating mga uniform personnel. Yung sa Fort Pagsaysay, Camp Tino. So usually po, yun yung tema ng ating mga names and titles. So same po yung ating specifications, 2-story duplex pa rin po yan, with a house or house size of 60 square meters and a lot area of 80 square meters. And then moving forward, pwede naman ba na malapit tayo sa Pampanga? So ganyan po yung mga actual model po ng ating mga bahay. So pag nakuha niyo po yung bahay, ganyan po yung magiging itsura. Ang ilalagay niyo na lang po is yung mga furnitures natin, of course. And then, next stop is in Tarlac. So mag-move tayo sa Tarlac. Ito po ay isa sa mga projects po at naunang projects under this program. Ito po yung Casa San Miguel sa Tarlac. Ito po ang dami na pong nag-apply dito. 1,000 units po ito kasi very accessible po talaga itong sa Tarlac. And same po yung ating mga housing features. So over the slide po, ang ipapakita ko sa inyo ay mga two-story duplex na may mga features po na same din po nung ating mga naunang mga two-story duplex. So this one is Casa San Miguel, same features pa rin po yan. So next po, ayan. So ito yung mga accessible nearby establishment, mga tourist spot natin. Ayan. So move na tayo, Ma'am Keith, para mas mabilis tayo dun sa pinakahihintay ng lahat. Ito naman po ang Mount Arayat Residences. So palapit na po tayo sa NCR. This one is in Barangay Talapayong, Arayat, Pampanga. 732 housing units naman po ito. Meron po tayong same pa rin na specifications and a maximum years to pay. So next stop please. Ayan. Ito naman po yung Pandi and Camp 1, located in Barangay Mapulang Lupa, Pandi, Bulacan. 375 housing units naman po. Ito, maximum of 30 years to pay din siya. So ito na po yung mga interior ng ating Pandi and Camp. Mas malapit po ito sa NCR. Sa mga nagtatanong, ito po yung pinakamalapit sa NCR, Pandi and Camp 1. So, meron ba tayo sa NCR? So, later po. Yan din yung mga questions at kalamit na katanungan ng ating mga government employees or yung mga nag-inquire. So, syempre, Region 3 tayo. Mag-move po tayo sa Region 4. Syempre, di ba? Walang NCR. Later pa po ang NCR. Palm Tree House. So, Palm Tree House, ito po ay in Barangay Irawan, Puerto Princesa City. Same pa rin po ang features niyan. 500 housing units naman po. Kung gusto nating mag-relax naman malapit sa beach, meron po tayo dyan sa ating Puerto Princesa City, Palawan. Ito po yung usual na kinukuha rin na avail ng ating mga medyo pa-retired na din na ating mga government employees. Especially po yung mga ating uniform personnel. So moving forward, we have Our Lady of Mount Carmelville in Anilao City, Batangas. So 1,000 housing units po ito. Napakaganda po ng klima dito sa Lipa City. Siyempre, napakalapit po yan sa city. So ito po yung usual na gustong i-avail naman ng mga uniform personnel, especially the Air Force, kasi located malapit po siya sa kampo. So same pa rin po yung specifications. However, meron itong bungalow, kaya yun po yung pagkakaiba. Ang ating mga projects po, yung mga perspective natin, since community-based po ito, pinopropose po natin to sa ating mga communities or beneficiaries. At sila yung pumipili kung ano yung magandang design. So, next po. Ayan. So, syempre, hindi naman papatalo ang Visayas. Meron din po tayo sa Visayas, which is Mascara Village naman po ang tawag natin. Alam natin kung saan to located. This is located in Bacolod City. From the word itself na Mascara, di ba? Yan ang lagi nating sineselebrate in Bacolod. Ang construction or implementation naman po nito ay makakapag-construct ng 500 housing units with a maximum of 30 years to pay. Na house size po natin is same pa rin po, katulad po ng nabanggit ko kanina, ang mga two-story duplex po natin. Ito yung mga ongoing projects po natin. Kung tatanungin naman natin kung bakit wala tayong mga one-story or bungalow type at isa lang yung pinakita ko kanina, it's because ito po yung mga naunang na-present at na-propose natin. Kaya ito po yung mga two-story duplex natin na pinopropose or ina-avail ninyo at pwede nyong applyan. Kasi ito po yung nauna nating mga project proposal na okay yan na. So, ang next naman po, syempre, meron pa tayong isa, Vista Alegre, Barangay Dos Hermanas, Talisay, Negros Occidental, a 740 housing units with a maximum of 30 years to pay naman din po yan. So, makikita nyo po ito kasi napakaganda po ng site natin. Pag sinerge nyo sa Google, makikita po nila or pag nagtanong kayo, may mga marker naman po going to the site. So, ayan po ang Vista Alegre in Talisay City. And next one in Region 7, bakit wala tayong medium rise? O, diba? Ito na po yung mga medium rise natin. Meron na rin po kami mga condo unit type of housing that we are presenting that you can avail. This one is in Barangay Pulang Bato, Cebu City. Yan. 850 condo units po yung ating magagawa dyan. At ang unit size is 42 square meters. So, kalimitan, di po ba, madalas ang ating nakikita ay mga 24, 36. So, ang NHA naman po, ang ino-offer niya na unit, of course, is 42 square meters. Pabibo sa NHA, malaki po yung unit na kanya ino-offer. So, syempre po, toilet and bath, syempre kailangan spacious kasi lumalaki po ang family natin, di ba? Kaya dapat mas spacious yung ating mga projects. And the reason also why we proceed with a medium rise building po in Cebu City kasi alam naman natin very scarce na ang lupa sa mga syudad or mga urban areas natin, especially in Cebu. So next one is Region 8. Siyempre sa mga taga Bacolod, taga Leyte, meron po tayo sa Barangay Bugonon, Alang-Alang Leyte, and this is the Crown Estates with 400 housing units po na ma-implement namin. Maximum of 30 years to pay pa rin po ito, and 2-story duplex pa rin siya. So, ayan po. Makikita nyo dun sa right side, pag nag-play po yung slide, yan yung mga interior po natin. Yan yung mga pwede nyo gayahin yung interior. So, yan po yan. So, next stop. Next stop po talaga kasi para akong pababa, going south. So, meron na po tayo in Zamboanga City, sa City Cabaluay Place. Ayan. Barangay Cabaluay, Zamboanga City na magkakaroon po tayo ng 925 housing units. Makikita nyo na vintage style po yan. So, ayan. On the right side, makikita nyo yung bahay, no? Vintage style siya kasi yan po, famous si Zamboanga. At kung gusto nyo maging neighbor, si Ma'am Heidi Lane, ayan, at saka si Yumir, dyan po kayo kumuha ng bahay. So, same pa rin po yung ating mga housing specifications na makikita nyo dyan po sa right side ninyo. And then next stop is, yan po ang mga bahay natin. Siyempre, meron tayo sa Region 10. This one is Christine Villas, one of the pinakauna po ng mga projects ng GEP. Christine Villas, Vista Alegre, Scout Ranger, and Casa San Miguel. Yan po yung mga unang-unang mga projects under GEP. Ito po, may 1,000 housing units na po dito. Kaya ready for occupancy na po lahat ng mga projects for the 5 projects that I mentioned. The next, or yung pinaka-last dun sa 5, is sa Region 11 naman po. So, next na tayo, ma'am. Please, next slide. Ayan, so Region 11, nasa Region 11 na po tayo. This is Ciudad de Dahican, Barangay Dahican, Mati, Davao Oriental. Yan po yung location. Actually, we just had a grand launching of the Ciudad de Dahican yesterday. 500 housing units po ang ating target for Ciudad de Dahican with a maximum of 30 years to pay. Ito naman po, kung makikita nyo yung interior niyan, meron po tayong dalawang bedroom. Doon sa isang bedroom, nandun na yung ating bathroom. So yung master's bedroom natin, meron na siyang TNB para hindi po tayo mahirapan. And then next one, syempre, yan po yung ating Ciudad de Dahican. Continuous pa rin po, ongoing pa rin po ang projects natin. And then Madayao, ito po yung binabanggit ko kanina. Yung Madayao Residences, a low-rise building, condominium type din po ito. Meron po tayong 42 square meters at 36 dito. Number of units po na na-implement natin or na-construct, 640 units. At ito po yung pinakaunang na-sold out ang ating Madayao Residences. Marami na po talaga ang nag-avail ng Madayao. Kasi po napakalapit talaga sa city and dun sa mga establishments. So let's move on, ma'am, to the next slide. Ayan po ang floor plan niya. And of course, another one na near sa beach. Maresca Homes located in Barangay Cogon, Babac District sa Icagos or the Island City Garden, City of Sama, Davao del Norte. 1,000 housing units po ang i-construct natin sa Samal. Kaya you can also apply here sa ating mga pa-retire na po dyan. Ito po yung magandang destinasyon para makapag-unwind naman tayo, makapag-distress tayo. And then next po, ayan. Ayan na po talaga ang ating Maresca. Ganyan po kalapit ang Maresca pa sa beach. Kaya talaga naman pag ikaw ay nag-jogging, so feeling mo nandidistress ka na. So next, ma'am. And Blue Farm Villa. This one is also located in Davao City, Barangay Biao, Escuela, Tugbok District. So, ito po ay isa rin sa mga projects natin na malapit nang matapos, ang ating Blue Farm Villa. Next po. Ayan, yan po ang Blue Farm Villa. Kung makikita nyo, may mga markers na po lahat ha. May markers po na nagsasabi kung anong subdivision na kayo naroon. Ayan. Sige ma'am. Mag-move na tayo. Saver Heights. This is also in Davao del Sur, Barangay Catalunan Grande. 550 housing units. Maximum of 30 years to pay. Same pa rin po yung ating 2-story duplex. At ito na yung mga modern house natin. Kung makikita nyo yung exterior or perspective po na ating mga bahay, is modern type na po yan. So, as I've mentioned, kailangan pa rin po natin hihingan ng confirmation from our housing boards such as the AFP and the PNP sa mga proposal natin. And then moving forward na tayo, ayan. Other features of the project, ayan, malapit na rin po akong matapos. Ito yung mga housing features po na ating mga project. Ano ba ang kakaiba sa mga bagong project ni NHA? Unang-una po dyan yung land development natin sa ating subdivision. Ang makikita nyo ay napaka-wide na po ng ating mga roads. Meron na po tayong 6 meters, 12 meters. 6 to 12 meters, ready for power and water connection na po yan. And of course, yung pinaka-importante dyan is yung ating housing features na mas malaki na po yung mga lot sizes and area or floor area po natin with the conventional method pa rin po ng construction. At dun sa ating community is meron pa rin tayong provision for community facilities. Siyempre, katulad nga po ng ating theme or policy statement, this is the Balay, building adequate, livable, affordable, inclusive community. So dapat po lahat ng ating provisions for community facilities are within the subdivision or within the project site. So, doon na tayo mag-move. Magkano nga ba ang ino-offer ni NHA? So, nagbigay po kami ng comparative report so that kayo na po ang pumusga ng ating mga pricing range. So, move tayo ng quite a bit fast na. Row house. Ang mga row house po na papakita namin is ito yung mga sample ng mga model house na ino-offer din po sa atin. At ang NHA row house naman po, katulad na nabanggit ko kanina, this is a 150 square meters na lot area and a floor area of 60 square meters. And now, how much is the cost? Ang NHA po, ang total selling price ng ating Scout Ranger is 899,200. Ang housing description po, kayo na po ang pumasa. Floor area ni Model House 1, ni Model House 2, at ni Model House 3. Siyempre, hindi ko na po ilalagay yung total selling price. Kayo na ang mag-research para dyan. Pero yan po ang ating selling price for the housing or for the bungalow type ni NHA. And syempre naman po, ang next natin ay yung mga 2-story duplex po natin. Magkano ba yung mga 2-story duplex na ino-offer po namin para sa inyo? So, meron po tayong mga comparative reports si Model House 1 ng ating mga kasamang developers. Ayan. Ito po yung Model House Duplex. Nabanggit ko rin po kanina yung features niyan. Ito po yung comparative report natin. Ang selling price po is 1,804,400 to 1.904. Bakit may range? So, for the information of everyone, the uniform personnel, ang talagang selling price po ng ating 2-story duplex is a 1.9 million. But since the uniform personnel were also given 100,000 subsidy, kaya po naman naging 1.8 po ang ating selling price for the uniform personnel. So syempre mag-move na tayo, Ma'am Keith. Doon na tayo sa price range. So for duplex type of housing, hindi po lahat is 1.9. Ang Christine Villas po, nasa 1.6 million po siya to 2.1. The 2.1 million is yung po mga projects natin na mga bago or yung mga modern type na po ng housing. For condominium type, ang mabibigay pa lang po namin ngayon are the range. Around 2.2 to 3 million na po ang ating mga condominium type. Not bad kasi po considering the appraisal of these projects, mas mataas pa yung mga appraise natin for these projects, for our housing projects. For uniform personnel, like I've mentioned, 100,000 subsidy po. Ima-minus pa natin yan. So, maliles pa po ng 100,000. Ilang years to pay? 30 years to pay. At of course, Since kasama po natin si Pagibig, NHA also partnered with Pagibig regarding your housing loan if you want to avail the Pagibig housing loan. So next po is our mode or sino yung mga kwalipikadong mga mag-aplikante. Yan po yung makikita nyo sa ating FB page na ipa-flash ko mamaya para hindi na po maubos ang ating oras. So, sige ma'am. Yes, next pa, go. Proseso ng aplikasyon and the NHA requirements. 4 lamang po ang mga requirements na hinihingi ni NHA. Meron po tayong a application to purchase house and lot form, the proof of income, the certificate of active in service, and proof of identity or civil status. Para naman po ito sa mga uniform personnel. Sa government employees po, ang kailangan nyo ibigay naman is yung mga certificate of employment po ninyo. Ito makikita nyo sa ating FB page. So next ma'am. And then of course, nabanggit ko kanina ang ating OFW housing. Ito yung ating mga upcoming projects. So upcoming projects po ito, the mode of disposition or the sales for these projects are the following. So outright cash and staggered cash, in-house financing and end-user financing. Sige po Ma'am Keith, go na po. Yan, outright cash. Move ka pa. Next slide. For staggered cash sale, a sales contract shall initially be executed to cover the 1-year repayment period at 0% with a 0.5% delinquency charge per month, after which a deed of sale shall be executed if full payment has been made. So, yan po yung sa staggered cash po natin. Sales contract muna, tapos may deed of sale po tayo. Sige ma'am. In-house financing po, pwede po kayong mag-loan kay NHA. Ang gagamitin po nating agreement or contract is the individual loan agreement with NHA. And next po is the end-user financing. Nakapartner naman po natin si Pag-ibig. Ayan, we already have a contract with Pag-ibig, so kaya pina-flash po din namin yung Pag-ibig housing loan kasi pwede nyo pong ipag-ibig housing loan yung inyong bahay na kukunin kay NHA. So next ma'am. Of course, ito po, ang turnover natin, all ongoing projects are ready for turnover by 2022. So since meron tayong ongoing, meron din po tayong mga upcoming. Ito po ay mabilis na lang kasi kulang na rin po tayo sa time. Sa upcoming projects, of course, we have one in NCR or the National Capital Region. This is Crescente, sige ma'am, Uno, in Barangay Santolan, Pasig City. This is Felix Avenue po, 171 condo units. This is a medium-rise building po. Mixed-use development po yan. So, yan po yung sa NCR. Ang next naman po, as early as now, you can already apply para ma-pre-screen na po yung inyong mga application kung saang project nyo gustong mag-apply. Sa Region 1 naman po, 2 pa yung upcoming natin. Meron tayo sa Manawag at saka meron tayo sa Ilocos Sur, 400 and 300 units. Or Verdant Plains. We changed po the name to Verdant Plains. This one is the bungalow type na. So magkakaroon na po tayo ng mga bungalow type na mga housing. Kasi ito po yung most requested. So ang next one naman is yung sa Pilgrim Heights. This one is in Manawag. So moving pa tayo ma'am. And of course in Region 3, meron tayo sa Bataan. This is Mount Samatville in Balanga, Bataan. Same po ang features. Pag mga 2-story duplex, same po usually yung features natin. Nagkakaiba lang siya sa perspective. And then next natin is Region 11. 2 pa po ang sa Region 11, Kapiaan Heights and Balay San Agustin. So those are the projects po, the upcoming projects. And allow me to also inform you that last June 7, we already have a signing of Memorandum of Understanding. Kaya naman po, yung mga bahay na pinakita ko sa inyo, our OFWs can also avail or apply for those houses. Provided that yung mga ating mga uniform personnel or nagkaroon na tayo ng deadline for submission of application, yung po ating mga naunang aplikante ng mga OFW, yun yung ating is-screen. So ang next po natin, Ma'am Keith, please. This is called the Tahanan ng Bagong Bayani. Ito po yung ating wini-webinar lagi, the TBB. So, sige ma'am. This is the audiovisual presentation para po sa upcoming. Take note po this for our usually po kasi nagkakaroon ng misinterpretation. So, yung regarding po dun sa 500 to 1,000, this is the proposal and the upcoming project proposal po for the OFW housing. So allow me to present to you the AVP.
Kilala mo ba ang ating mga bagong bayani? Ang ating mga kaanak o kaibigan na tumatawid sa malalayong karagatan at nagtitiis mawalay sa kanilang pamilya para lamang makapagtrabaho at kumita. Sila ang ating mga bagong bayani o ang mga overseas Filipino workers. Ang pagsisikap at pagsasakripisyo na ginawa ng ating mga OFWs ay tunay na nakararangal. Kaya naman, bilang pagpupugay, ang National Housing Authority o ang NHA ay maglulunsad ng low-cost housing program para sa ating mga bagong bayani o ang mga OFWs. Ang mga housing units sa programang ito ay may lot size na 40 square meters at 24 square meters naman para sa floor area. Mayroon itong sala, kusina, 2 kwarto na nakaayon sa Gender and Development Guidelines, merong banyo at service area. At ang isang napakagandang balita bukod sa pagiging dekalidad, sinigurado ng National Housing Authority na sa abot-kayang halaga na 500 to 1,000 pesos kada buwan ang iyong pinapangarap na tahanan. Bukod dito, ang mga makabagong disenyo na tiyak magugustuhan ng ating mga bagong bayani ang gagamitin sa mga proyektong pabahay para sa mga OFW. Ito ay simula para sa pagbuo ng isang magandang komunidad para sa ating magigiting na mga bagong bayani.
Ayan. So, yan po yung upcoming projects. Kaya po nandyan siya sa upcoming projects. So, eligibility criteria po nito, ito po yung, syempre dapat ikaw ay may OEC. Yan po ang pinaka-importante pag ikaw ay mag-a-apply as OFW or sa OFW housing natin. So, next, Ma'am Keith. Of course, except in cases where the housing unit shall be paid in outright cash, the applicant shall not be more than 65. Yan nga po pala ang ating pakatatandaan. Dapat po not more than 65 years old at the date of application and not more than 70 years old at the time of the maturity of the housing loan. Ito po yung para dun sa ating in-house financing. Yung mga OFW dependents po natin, sila po ay dapat mas be gainfully employed with sufficient income naman. Kung isasama po natin sila as co-borrower. Ang next po natin, next slide. Ito po yung mga implementing procedure natin, yung pre-application. Ito yung binabanggit ko kanina na you can also apply through our GEP online portal which we will provide after these presentations. Yung application and award naman po ng procedure, at po ang una po dyan, marireceive po yan ng ating regional or district office. Tapos i-validate din po yan ni Pagibig if you are going to choose the ating Pag-ibig housing loan. Which of course, everyone, para po sa kaalaman ng lahat, maganda po na dapat magpapag-ibig housing loan pa rin tayo. Doon pa rin po ang ating kapupuntahan because we also have the same interest rate as Pag-ibig. Even though it's an in-house financing, we have same interest rate po with Pag-ibig, same terms and conditions din po. And then after nun, evaluation of documents naman po, pre-qualification and processing of award. So, ito po yung ating pre-application requirements na nabanggit ko kanina. Ang NHA po sa ating portal o sa aming ibibigay ng mga email mamaya, andun na po yung mga applications na kailangan yung i-fill out. Nandun na rin po yung mga checklist of requirements. Katulad ng nabanggit ko, 4 lamang po ang hinihingi ni NHA. And of course, separate din po yung kay Pag-ibig na mangilan-ngilan lang lamang po ang ating mga requirements. So next po, malapit na rin tayong matapos. Take note only that the intention of the program is to provide housing to the homeless. Selling is not allowed without the consent of NHA. So, pag po tayo ay kumuha ng pabahay, syempre kailangan mahalin natin ang ating bahay. Huwag po tayo yung biglaan na lang namin malalaman. Syempre, di ba, na binibenta na pala tapos hindi pa bayad. So, nahihirapan po tayong mag-collect sa ganoong mga pangyayari. So, dapat naman po ay pinagpaguran natin yung bahay na yon, di ba? Kaya kailangan we should take charge and we should take care of our bahay because of course, syempre in the future, pag lumaki po ang pamilya natin, ito yung ating maipapamana sa ating mga anak. So, next po, next slide. Ito yung binabanggit ko po kanina for us and for you to easily access or apply. You can reach our GEP and TBB online portal. It's now ready and nakaka-launch lang po nito eh. So pwede na po kayong maka-access doon. Ito po yung ating mga yan. Ito yung ating IRL or the website gep.nha.gov.ph. Makikita nyo po yung banner na ganyan once na makiklik nyo yung ating address or website. Ang next po natin. For more information, of course, you can always contact us through our email ofwhousing.npc@gmail.com, our NHA TBB, and NHA Balay Talks, and also our NHA-GEP. So NHA-GEP po yan, GHP. Yun po for the government employees. Kung kayo naman ay OFWs, you can access our FB, NHA TBB para naman po dun sa mga requirements kasi magkaiba po yung sa GEP at saka yung sa ating TBB. And of course, para naman po mas makita nyo kung gaano kaganda at makita nyo yung ating mga projects, di ba? First hand, you can also and you can always like our NHA Balay Talks. May YouTube page din po kami dyan. So, yan po yung ating mga information or for your inquiries and concern. So, malapit na po tayong matapos. Meron din po tayo, of course, ang aming pong department who are in charge for the sales and disposition, yung pinresenta ko po kanina sa inyo na general overview lamang. Ito po ang ating EMD at nha.gov.ph. Sa mga katanungan po ninyo na syempre meron po kayong mga questions na baka hindi po namin ma-answer dito at regarding po yan sa pag-dispose. Pag sinabi po natin sales and disposition, sila po talaga in charge dun sa policy natin and guidelines kung paano po natin mabebenta ang ating mga bahay. So EMD po ang ating departamento para doon. But you can also inquire dun sa mga previous po namin na email na binigay sa inyo. So yan po yung ating FB page. Yan po ang ating Government Employees Housing Program. Yan po ang ating tahanan ng bagong bayani. Maraming salamat. Thank you everyone.
Okay. So thank you very much, Engineer Lian Villanueva. Let us now entertain some questions from our Zoom Q&A box and from our audience in the Facebook Live. Engineer?
Sige ma'am, let's check po. Ang i-check ko po muna yung yung mga regarding po dun sa ating pinresent. Maghahanap muna ako ma'am ha.
Yes, ma'am. So,
Okay. Sige ma'am. Alright. Wala pa tayong mahanap.
okay, ma'am. So while you're choosing
Yes.
questions, let me announce this para po sa lahat ng mga ibig magtanong. Pakisubmit po ang kanilang mga katanungan sa ating Q&A box. And ito po ay aming matutugunan. Ito rin po ay upang mapadalhan namin kayo ng tugon sa pamamagitan po ng email address na inyong ginamit sa pagrehistro dito po sa ating webinar. Kung kapusin man tayo ng oras o dito po sa oras sa pagsagot ngayong umaga. Maraming salamat po. Yes, ma'am.
Sige. Ito po kay Sir, Miss Grizel Pleno. May nagbebenta po ng bahay na under sa inyo and fully paid na po sila. Pwede po ba i-loan sa pag-ibig yung pangbabayad sa may-ari ng bahay? So, honestly ma'am, ito hindi po siya connect or relevant dun sa ating presentation. However, this one, in-inform ko na lang just in case kasi wala pa akong ma-choose na mga question. So, allow me to just read your question just in case naman po ang aking boss ay ma-answer ito. So, sa mga nagbebenta po ng mga fully paid, kailangan pong i-check din yung muna kay NHA kung totoo po yan at legit yan, ano. Kasi karamihan po yan po yung mga nangyayari na minsan syempre scam or sinasabi nila fully paid pero may mga delinquencies pa pala. So double check niyo po yan sa ating district office kung saan po yung ating or kung saan yung binibenta nilang bahay. NHA from Miss Kate Flores, paano po kung nasa abroad ang employer? Ano pong documents ang pwede i-present? Also, paano po magbabayad online ng member monthly fee? Actually po, kaya po kami nagbigay ng ating online portal is para po doon kayo ma-update kung paano yung pagbabayad. Doon naman po sa mga may employer abroad, kailangan nyo pong i-present yung inyong OEC or yung ating certificate or contract po with them. Kailangan po valid pa rin po yung ating contract. So, kailangan yun po yung i-present ninyo tsaka yung 4 po na kailangan namin. Kailangan nyo pa rin pong mag-submit ng mga application forms, the income tax, and of course your payslip or the OEC, yan po yung pinaka-importante. Another thing po, nasa FB page naman, kay Ma'am Annalisa Dumalaon, pwede po ba mag-avail ang hindi OFW at hindi government employee? Pasensya na ma'am, pero as of now po, syempre ang ating pong priority is our government employees and our OFWs. So ito po yung ating priority muna for the meantime. Hopefully, pwede na po siya sa private. Pero po sa mandato ng NHA, ang ating mga government employees at mga low-income earners ang ating mga priority. So, ang next naman po, magkano po ang TCP ng Crescente? Ang range po ng ating price range kanina for the Crescente Uno, which is a high or medium rise building, ranges from 1.9 to 2.1 million. As of now po, mabibigay ko lamang is mga range po muna. And also, kindly keep your or you can like our FB page as well para naman po dun sa mga updates. Kasi right now, we are still finalizing especially yung mga ongoing projects po natin regarding the TCP or the selling price list. So, eto po, may question pa. Last na ito, Ma'am Jamie, From Ma'am Rodora, pag po ba namatay ang borrower, but ang co-borrower ay buhay pa, considered po ba na fully paid na din ang loan? Meron po kayong binabayaran na insurance for that. That's the MRI. So, kailangan po, kung bayad din at updated po yung inyong insurance, definitely po pag namatay po yung ating borrower or being borrower, ito po ay considered na fully paid na rin. Tama po ba, Sir Richard? Kaya buti na lang, andyan din po ang pag-ibig at masasagot din po nila yan. So, tama na po ba, Ma'am? Jamie, nakalima na po ba ako?
Ma'am, there's another question po here.
Okay.
NHA on AFP PNP housing. Kailan po malalaman na yung names na qualified for housing project, lalo na dito sa Davao City? Then, kailan po ang turnover nito? Wala po kasing na-receive na info, kanino na-award ang Madayaw.
Of course, ma'am, nabanggit po namin kanina that it's sold out kasi 640 units for Madayaw, to be clear for everyone. For Madayaw kasi 640 units ang ating implemented or constructed unit. Ngayon, nabanggit po namin na sold out because there are 2,000 plus of applicants already. Yung 2,000 plus po na yon, iraraffle po iyon. And as of last month, meron na po tayo mga certificate of award. Pag po kayo ay nakatanggap ng call from NHA or email from us, kayo po ay kasama dun sa raffle. Usually po pag sa raffle tayo, nagkakaroon din po tayo ng live or nagsistream po tayo dun sa raffle. Kasi draw lots po yan. So, kung kayo ay kasama dun sa mga na pre-qualified po na applicants dun sa 2,000 plus na yon, kayo po ay naka-receive panigurado ng raffle Zoom link. Kasi nga po, last year, yung iba pong mga units ay na-raffle na. So, yung sa Madayaw, as of now, certificate of award pa lamang po yung aming naibibigay. Wala pa naman po yung individual loan agreement. So, 300 pa lang po yung nara-raffle natin doon. Yung kaninang nabanggit ko na sold out, yun po ay because there are plenty of applicants already. That's why we are closing it because they are already they are already evaluating and pre-qualifying those 2,000 plus. So,
Yes, ma'am. Meron pong isa pang question dito, last na po. Pwede raw po bang mag-apply ang kanyang asawa? Dahil OFW yung nagtatanong. Pwede po bang asawa niyang mag-apply?
yes, ma'am, provided that meron po siyang, yes, Ma'am Jimmy, thank you. Provided that meron po siyang special power of attorney. Pwede po na si Mrs. po ang mag-apply on behalf of kanyang mister na nasa abroad.
There you go. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you.
Maraming salamat po, Engineer Lian Villanueva. We have learned a lot. And for all unanswered questions, ay pwede po ito po ay ipapasa po sa ating mga key shelter agencies. And of course, it's flash on your screen. They will get back to you soonest. There you go. Thank you once again, Engineer Lian Villanueva. We are now down to our final two speakers for today. Our next speaker will discuss about the Balay Verde program and how it promotes sustainable housing development in safe and secure communities and advocates quality of life in a society that contributes to the economy, all while preserving the environment. Ladies and gentlemen, let us welcome the National Home Mortgage Finance Corporation Senior Investment Specialist and Acting Technical Assistant for the Fund Management Group, Ms. Princess Ong. Magandang umaga po, Ms. Princess.
Good morning, Ms. Jamie. Good morning, everyone, and to all the developers and originators with us today. Thank you for sharing your time, even if it's Saturday. So today, I will present to you the importance of having a sustainable and resilient home and how we at NHMFC can support you through our newest program, the Balay Verde program. So allow me to share my screen. Alright, so as mentioned, my expertise is in finance and investment, which is why I will be discussing our topic today in a less technical view and more on a practical view. Ako po ay isang certified Verde professional ng Philippine Green Building Council at EDGE expert naman din po ng International Finance Corporation at Philippine Green Building Initiative. Nandito po ang aking mga kasamahan galing sa Verde Unit para tulungan akong sagutin ang anumang mga katanungan at sana makasagot kami ng madaming katanungan. Simula na po tayo. Ang Pilipinas po, sa ating pagkakaalam, ito po ay located sa Pacific Ring of Fire. Kaya naman, ang mga natural calamities such as yung typhoons ay nangyayari buong taon. Yung mga earthquake naman po at volcanic eruption ay mas madalas nangyayari dito sa atin kaysa sa ibang bansa. Kung makikita nyo po sa screen natin ngayon, ito po ay mga snapshots na mga natural calamities na nangyari sa isang taon lang. Ito po ay ang eruption ng Taal Volcano, ang baha dulot ng Typhoon Ulysses at Super Typhoon Rolly, at ang 6.5 magnitude na lindol sa Kidapawan, North Cotabato noong 2019. Bukod dito, tayo rin po ay may tropical climate na ang temperature ay hanggang 43 degrees Celsius during summer. At higit sa lahat, ito pong ating nilalaban ng COVID-19 pandemic. These are things that we cannot change. These are the things that we need innovations for the benefit of Filipino families today and in the future. These are the reasons why NHMFC developed the Balay Verde program. We realize the importance of green housing in sustainable communities. From the ordinary Filipino's perspective, having a safe and resilient home ay karapatan, hindi pribilehiyo lamang. Kaya dapat lang na ang pagkakaroon ng green at sustainable na tahanan at komunidad ay hindi masakit sa bulsa. Bukod dito, tayo ay merong mataas na kuryente, tubig at pati pagpapagawa ng mga sira sa bahay. making it available and affordable na gamitin ang green building features at i-adopt ang mga independent green building body standards will ultimately benefit the housing sector's largest stakeholder. Kayo po yun, ang Filipino community. According to a study by the International Finance Corporation, certified green homes have higher sales prices and quicker sales cycles, benefiting our partner housing developers. Lower loan default rates and higher resale values, benefiting our partner banks, originators, and other home financing companies. And of course, lower operational costs, benefiting the home buyers and homeowners. The long-term national aspiration of the Ambisyon Natin 2040 led to the crafting of the Philippine Development Plan. According to the plan, the sector will operationalize the Balay Filipino Communities Program. Balay is the multi-stakeholder partnership of the SHUD, the key shelter agencies, the private sector, the LGUs, and the communities. Ang lahat ng ito po ay naka-anchor sa United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. Value creation should happen among all housing market players. Good income produced through good intention while upholding environmental, social, governance, and economic responsibilities. NHMFC aims to be part of the capacity building to the home developers and originators of the benefits of building green, sustainable, and resilient homes. That the mindset of green building being expensive and luxurious is a myth. The fact is that green buildings and homes produce a positive multiplier effect on the different sectors of society. On your screen is the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. In 2015, the UN member countries, including the Philippines, adopted a new global plan of action entitled Transforming Our World, the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. The 2030 Agenda, its 17 goals and 169 targets, is a universal set of goals and targets that aim to stimulate people-centered and planet-sensitive changes. Sama-sama po natin to pa rin itong mga goals para sa ating mundo. Meanwhile, these are the green initiatives in the housing sector. The National Housing and Urban Development Sector Plan, ito po ay a 20-year plan envisioning a better, greener, and smarter human settlements and urban systems in the Philippines. Ang next naman po ay ang Green Building Code ng DPWH. This is mandatory for residential condominiums with 20,000 square meter total gross floor area, but not yet in subdivision developments. At ang pangatlo naman po ay ang NHMC's Balay Verde. It is a platform for provision of liquidity facility to any housing loan originator or developer who construct, retrofit, and finance green certified residential housing to serve as the underlying assets that are eligible for securitization. Pag-usapan po natin yan ng maigi mamaya. As of today, the emerging growth of green subdivision projects is due to the initiatives of some real estate developers and their commitment to contribute to the Paris Climate Agreement. The green building standards, as indicated in the Philippine Green Building Code, serve as their reference for the plans of their subdivision projects. Before any building or home can be called green, it must be evaluated and rated by an impartial third-party organization. A developer cannot make the green declaration on its own. Instead, it must submit the project to a recognized body for an assessment. These are some of the green building certification bodies here in the Philippines. Ito po ay ang LEED, ang Verde, ang EDGE, ang Green, at ang pinakabago sa lahat, ang BRI or Building Resilience Index. Ito po ngayon ay nasa pilot version at hindi pa po certification tool. If you want to know more about this, you can watch the webinar held last Thursday as part of the National Shelter Month din po on NHMFC's Facebook page. Now, green building certification means that the project was designed and built based on sound ecological principles. Ang ibig pong sabihin, si developer po ay sumunod sa industry standards on sustainability and that it complied with environmental requirements. The environmental impact and performance measures are readily available and quantified by green certifying bodies during certification stage. Ito po ay requirement ng SEC during annual reporting disclosure sa mga investors ng bonds ng NHMFC. Higit sa lahat, it benefits the developer and the residents of the development, the community where it is located, the local and national governments, and from a bigger perspective, the global environment. For the homeowners and prospective home buyers, let me give you some very practical and cost-efficient measures on how to turn your homes into green, sustainable, and resilient. Maybe most of you will say, mag-install tayo ng solar panel. Bumili tayo ng water treatment device. O kaya naman, gamit tayo ng imported materials. These are all true. However, these are not the only ways. Some measures are in fact being practiced already. These are using LED light bulbs instead of incandescent or fluorescent lights, using inverter appliances, saving your rainwater for general washing and non-potable uses or yung hindi iniinom, or yung paggamit ng light-colored paints sa ating mga pader at mga bubong. For the developers, we are now familiar with the triple bottom line effect. This is the effect that we, as responsible developers, lenders, and industry leaders want to achieve. Housing development should have a positive impact on people, the planet, and the economy. But it always boils down to what's in it for me. I am now wearing my finance hat. How much is the incremental costs? Is there a demand for green homes? Is the market stable? O baka naman hype lang yan? When will I get my return on my investment? I can provide you a detailed explanation and even a separate presentation about all this, together with our partners in IFC. But to answer those questions briefly, incremental costs for certification of your projects is very minimal and is always based on the size of your project. Demand. Yes, there is a huge demand for green homes even for socialized and economic home buyers. The green building movement started more than a decade ago. And now, home developers are joining the movement to take part in making Earth, our home, ang ating tahanan, a bearable and sustainable place for our children and our children's children. And as discussed earlier, certified green homes have higher sales prices and quicker sales cycles. Ang ibig pong sabihin nito, ang ROI or return of investment ay makukuha natin na mas maaga. Ngayon po, pinapresent ko sa inyo ang Balay Verde program ng National Home Mortgage. Ang DSUD po ay nag-launch ng Balay Filipino Community Program. Ang Balay ay nagsastand sa Building Adequate, Livable, Affordable, and Inclusive Filipino Communities. While ang Verde naman po stands for Building Eligible, Resilient Dwelling for Everyone. The Balay Verde is a very important program of DSUD that promotes sustainable housing development in safe and secure communities and advocates quality of life that contributes to the economy while preserving the environment. This program promotes reduction of community risks and vulnerabilities to disasters, and also optimizes energy efficiency, water conservation, and use of low-carbon materials. Ang pinakamaganda po sa programang ito ay ang interest rate. Nagmumula lamang ito sa 3% to 6%, fixed na po ito for the rest of the term. Ang term naman po ay mula 5 years to a maximum of 30 years. Sorry. I'm sorry. Can I go back a little bit? Bukod po dito, may karagdagan pa pong bawas sa interest rate kung kayo po ay nabibilang sa marginalized sector income decile. So may karagdagan pong hanggang 1% reduction pa po sa inyong interest rate. With this po, developers and originators of green building projects are tapping us to provide them with liquidity by purchasing their green mortgage receivables. In turn, they can immediately build more green projects. While the said receivables po will be pooled by NHMFC to structure the first green residential mortgage-backed securities dito po sa Pilipinas. With NHMFC's commitment to strengthen a sustainable housing finance market and avoid greenwashing of its program, it requires certification of all housing projects whose mortgage receivables will be purchased through the Balay Verde program. Generally, these are the green features required for Balay Verde program: natural disaster resilient, sustainable, and energy and water efficient. Now, allow me to give you the simple steps on how you can take advantage of this program.
What are the main features of the Balay Verde program? Balay Verde will benefit both homebuyers and originators alike. NHMFC shall pay the originator the amount equivalent to the outstanding principal balance or OPB of the residential portfolio with a loan amount of up to 100% of the appraised value not exceeding 3 million pesos. The housing loan must also be repaid at a maximum term of 30 years, not exceeding the difference between age 65 and the present age of the principal borrower. The loan shall have a fixed interest rate up to the end of the term, ranging from 3% to 6%. How to avail of the Balay Verde program? Step 1. Have your project certified by EDGE. The housing loan portfolio subject for purchase must receive a green building certification from EDGE or any certifying bodies. Step 2. Accreditation of originator. Originators must be included in the list of accredited developers of the Department of Human Settlement and Urban Development or any of the key shelter agencies. NHMFC's existing originators are automatically qualified under this program. New or non-accredited originators must apply for accreditation with NHMFC. Step 3. Submission of scanned documents. Originators shall submit the scanned or digitized copies of A. Letter of intent, and B. Technical and borrower's documentary requirements to NHMFC online. The scanned or digitized document is in searchable portable document format or PDF with a minimum resolution of 300 dpi. Step 4. Conducting of due diligence. Due diligence shall be performed through phone or video call. The originator shall immediately be notified of the result of the due diligence within 12 working days. Step 5. Endorsement for Sustainability Committee approval. A portfolio evaluation report or PER shall be presented to the Sustainability Committee for approval. Step 6. Serving of the notice of approval to the originator. Once approved, NHMFC shall serve a notice of approval or NOA to the originator. Step 7. Submission of original copies. Upon receipt of the NOA, submit the documents within 3 working days prior to the processing of takeout proceeds. And lastly, Step 8. Release of takeout. The loan proceeds shall be released within the prescribed turnaround time from the approval of the Sustainability Committee. And that's how to avail the Balay Verde program. For details and assistance,
contact us at 893-1501 local 282 or email us at marketing@nhmc.gov.ph.
Okay po. So ngayon po na nalaman na po natin yung salient features ng ating program, allow me to conclude my presentation with the housing value chain. The department is exercising administrative supervision over the attached corporation, also known as the key shelter agencies. Each KSA po has its unique function based on their separate mandates which should not overlap with one another. Their roles contribute to the development and sustainability of the housing sector. Una po dyan ang Human Settlements Adjudication Commission, ang independent quasi-judicial body ng nag-adjudicate ng cases at dispute ng mga homeowner at real estate development. Sunod po dyan ang NHA, sila po ang home producer among the KSAs. Ngayon naman po ang HDMF or Home Development Mutual Fund or kilala natin sila as Pag-ibig Fund. Sila po ang primary mortgage market. Kasama po nila dito ang Social Housing Finance Corporation na naggagawa naman po ng mga community development. And of course, hindi po natatapos dito ang value chain. Ang mga loans po na tinitake out sa ating mga KSA, sa bangko at kahit sa mga developer ay nasa kanila po ng matagal na panahon. Dahil po kailangan nila syempre ng pondo para panghiram din po sa mga ibang nagnanais magkaroon ng tahanan. Kailangan po nilang i-liquidate yung mga loan na to by engaging po with the secondary mortgage institution. Ang National Home Mortgage Finance Corporation po ay mandated to provide liquidity to the primary market through our Housing Loan Receivables Purchase Program. These loans po or mortgage receivables are pulled together to structure a financial product to be offered in the capital market like a bond. This financial product is a residential mortgage-backed security na maaari nyo rin pong bilhin para po sa inyong investment. The synergy and integration of functions among the KSAs are held up by the SHUD. This ensures that underprivileged and homeless citizens have access to an adequate, safe, habitable, sustainable, resilient, and affordable homes. You may contact us po through the details on your screen for program presentation and meeting schedule, green building consultation, developer accreditation, and sale of your green mortgage receivables. Please also join our online housing fair happening towards the end of October. Thank you po very much. Again, I am Princess Ong, and together let us build a safe and resilient shelter in this time of pandemic and changing climate. Because at NHMFC, we believe that every Filipino deserves a home, and it should never take too long.
Thank you so much, Miss Princess. So like in our past speakers, it is now time for our Q&A. Please type in your questions in the chat box via Zoom and Facebook Live. So, Miss Princess?
Yes, Miss Jamie, for a while, I'll go to my Viber group po. Yan po. Question. Is this program only open for real estate developers or construction companies? Meaning, it's unlike Pag-ibig where anyone can apply for a house that's ready for occupancy? Opo, salamat po sa tanong. Ito pong programa ay para po sa mga originator at developer. Kung nais po ninyong sumali sa aming program, makipag-ugnayan po kayo sa aming mga accredited originator at developer. Thank you. Next question po. Pwede po ba yung anak ko, galing po ito sa Facebook po ata, na mag-apply kasi OFW po ako dito sa Abu Dhabi? Opo, maaari pong sumali dito through our accredited originators and developers po. Wala pong problema doon. Basta po meron tayong special power of attorney na ibibigay sa ating anak or yun po. Processing time. So, gaano po katagal ang processing time? Para po sa ating mga originators at developers, ang processing time po para sa Balay Verde program ay 20 working days. after complete documentation po. Yun po ang binibilang natin, complete documentation. So ano po ang benefit ng green housing para po sa amin? Ang pinaka-benefit po nito para sa atin, no, sa individual or sa ating pamilya, ay ang pagbaba ng ating energy at water cost. So significant po ang maibababa ng ating bill ng kuryente at tubig kapag po ang ating mga bahay ay green and sustainable na po. Ilang tanong na po ako. Okay po, ito po. Where can we avail a house po under this program? Okay, so under this program po, currently po, ang accredited po naming developer ay ang Imperial Homes Corporation. Maaari po kayong mag-visit sa kanilang website para po makita ang kanilang mga nagagandahan at mga murang mga pabahay para po mapasok kayo dito sa Balay Verde Program. Maraming salamat, Miss Jamie.
Thank you so much, Miss Princess. At marami pong mga katanungan pero po pwede po rin po kayong sumagot or pwede pong sagutin ang inyong mga katanungan. Just visit the Key Shelter Agency's Facebook pages. Flashed on your Facebook pages, tama po. Flashed on your screens, no? Facebook page accounts. There you go. So maraming salamat po muli, Miss Princess Ong. And last but not the least for our speaker, she is from the Human Settlements Adjudication Commission to discuss about their agency's jurisdiction and general flow of adjudication process. Let us all welcome the Deputy Executive Director 4 of the Human Settlements Adjudication Commission, Attorney Hanika Rachel Arshad J. Ong. Magandang umaga po.
Good morning po, Ms. Jamie, and thank you for that short but sweet introduction. So hello everyone, good morning. I'm Attorney Hanika Ong from the Human Settlements Adjudication Commission, and I'll be here to discuss the background of HSAC, its jurisdiction, and the general flow of the adjudication process. I'll start by sharing my screen. Ayan po, good morning everyone. Next slide please. So, the background of HSAC actually stems from the Housing and Land Use Regulatory Board or yung tinatawag natin na HLURB. When Republic Act 11201 was passed into law, the HLURB was reconstituted as the Human Settlements Adjudication Commission or the HSAC. And ito po yung quasi-judicial body tasked to adjudicate disputes relating to real estate developments, homeowners associations, and appeals from decisions of local and regional planning and zoning bodies. In the performance of its functions, the HSAC is guided by the constitutional provision that affords all persons the right to a speedy disposition of their cases before all judicial, quasi-judicial, or administrative bodies. HSAC is actually one of the key shelter agencies under the Department of the Human Settlements and Urban Development, but we are under the DSHUD for policy planning and program coordination only. Yung jurisdiction po namin includes cases involving subdivisions, condominiums, memorial parks, and similar real estate developments, actions concerning unsound real estate business practices, claims for refund, cases involving specific performance of contractual and statutory obligations arising from the sale of the lot or unit and development of the subdivision or condominium project, disputes involving the open spaces or common areas and their use filed by the project owner or developer or the duly registered homeowners association, including the eviction of illegal occupants, declaration of the subdivision, condominium, or other real estate developments abandoned, disputes involving easements, actions to annul mortgages and other agreements, That is po yung mga cases filed either by the buyers or the homeowners associations against po yung mga developers or yung mga developments of concern. Yung next naman po are cases involving homeowners association. This includes controversies involving the registration and regulation of homeowners associations, intra-association disputes or controversies, inter-association disputes or controversies, disputes between such HOA and the state, and disputes between such HOA and the beneficial users of its services. So ito naman po are complaints filed amongst members of homeowners associations or between different homeowners associations and the state. Meron din po tayong disputes involving the implementation of Section 18 of Republic Act 7279 as amended by Republic Act 10884 or ito po yung Balanced Housing Development Program. Disputes or controversies involving laws and regulations being implemented by the DSUD except those cases falling within the jurisdiction of other judicial or quasi-judicial bodies. So ito po yung bagong jurisdiction given to the HSAC with the implementation of Republic Act 11201. Also, we have appeals from decisions of local and regional planning and zoning bodies and other analogous cases. The nature of our proceedings po is quasi-judicial. This means that it is like other quasi-judicial bodies such as the National Labor Relations Commission or NLRC. It is more of an informal type of hearing rather than those observed in regular courts. So may opportunity naman po yung mga parties to air out their concerns and issues before our adjudicators by filing a complaint or answer by accomplishing a template or a form provided by HSAC, either accomplishing it manually or downloading the digital copy. It is informal in the sense na you don't need the engagement of a private counsel or lawyer. So pwede po kayo mismo na pupunta sa office namin to file a complaint. Hindi po kailangan na kumuha kayo ng lawyer. So proceedings before the adjudicator, commencement of action and proceedings. So yung first po is the commencement of an action through a filing of a verified complaint. So may template format naman provided in our HSAC website. And then the service of summons on the respondent together with a copy of the complaint. And then after service of summons, the respondent will file an answer, which a template or a form is also provided in our website. Setting and conduct of mandatory conference, and then submission of position paper and draft decision, writing of the decision, and issuance of the decision with notice to parties. So the proceedings po, as you can see in this flow chart, the proceedings po is very informal and as expeditious as we can possibly make it. We try to make it as speedy and as short and as accessible po to all the stakeholders concerned. Kaya po may templates provided and also hindi na po kailangan ng assistance ng abogado. So in the flow chart po makikita nyo it's a very simple flow ng procedure namin. Again, it starts with the filing of a verified complaint and then iraraffle sa isang adjudicator who will issue the summons and then the filing of a verified answer by the respondent and then the resolution of the adjudicator through a decision. And then if may party na hindi satisfied sa decision ng adjudicator, it may appeal the decision to the Commission Division and the unbanked. So yung venue po, saan po tayo magpa-file ng complaint? It is filed before the regional adjudication branch that has jurisdiction over the administrative region where the subdivision or condominium project is located. We have an exception po if the buyer resides in the same place as the principal office of the developer. The buyer may opt to file the case in said region even if the project involved is located in a different administrative region. For HOA cases naman po, it can be filed in our RAB that corresponds to the DSHUD regional office where the HOA is registered or re-registered. Manner of filing. Meron po tayong traditional manners of filing such as the personal filing, registered mail, and private courier. And with the advent po of our new rules of procedure as well as with the changing of times, we have included po yung electronic mail or other electronic means as may be authorized by the rules. However po, when it comes to the filing of the complaint and the answer, it is only limited po to personal or registered mail. Mandatory conference. After po mag-file ng complaint at mag-file ng answer yung respondent, the adjudicator will set the case for a mandatory hearing. This is where the parties will have an opportunity to air out their concerns as well as to have the following purposes: to consider the possibility of an amicable settlement through mediation, the agreement of the parties that the subsequent pleadings and motions will be served by electronic means, the agreement of the parties to the conduct of subsequent conferences, including mediation proceedings through teleconferencing. So we allow din po teleconferencing aside from the filing of yung mga pleadings po through electronic mail. The scheduling by the regional adjudicator of the mediation, the definition and simplification of issues, the possibility of entering into admissions or stipulations of facts, the submission of additional documentary evidence, the resolution of other preliminary matters. After po ng mandatory conferences and subsequent hearings po, the adjudicator will issue an order telling the parties to file their position papers and draft decisions. This is po to help the adjudicator give a proper assessment of the case and drafting of its decision. There is an opportunity din po for the adjudicator to do an ocular inspection or have scheduled clarificatory hearings if necessary, if the adjudicator finds it necessary. So after that po, the regional adjudicator shall resolve the case. Ocular inspections and clarificatory hearings shall be held if necessary, and no motion for reconsideration before the regional adjudicator shall be allowed. So after po ng decision ng regional adjudicator, if a party is not satisfied with the decision, it may file an appeal before the commission. So the commission is composed of 5 commissioners appointed by the president. From among the 5, the president shall appoint the executive commissioner. The commission en banc shall resolve the following: petitions for review of writs of preliminary injunction, appeals from decisions of local and regional planning and zoning bodies, cases involving novel issues with policy implications, appeals from judgments or orders in election contests, and motions for reconsideration of judgments or orders rendered or issued by any of its divisions. The commission also sits in 3 divisions composed of a combination of 3 commissioners. No motion to inhibit the entire division or commission en banc shall be entertained. So yung appeal po from the judgment of the regional adjudicator shall be done by an appeal memorandum. So the party who is not satisfied with the decision of the regional adjudicator may file an appeal memorandum citing the legal grounds and the payment of an appeal fee to the RAB with 3 copies within 15 calendar days from receipt of the assailed decision. After that po, the opposing party shall be given an opportunity to file a counter memorandum, also citing its grounds, and this is directly already filed with the Office of the Executive Clerk of the Commission. Yung isa pa pong jurisdiction of the Commission on Appeal is appeal from decisions of local and regional planning and zoning bodies. A party aggrieved by the decision of any local or regional planning and zoning body may appeal therefrom on any legal ground to the Commission en banc by filing with the Office of the Executive Clerk of the Commission a verified appeal memorandum with a copy of the relevant zoning ordinance and its supporting documents. The appeal shall be made within the period provided in the zoning ordinance of the city or municipality. The Commission may, in the evaluation of the appeal, order the reception of evidence, order the conduct of clarificatory hearings or ocular inspection, or issue subpoena when necessary. After this po, the judgment of the Commission. The appeal is deemed submitted for decision once the filing of the counter memorandum is done by the appellee. The Commission en banc and its divisions resolve the appeals within 120 calendar days. The Commission shall notify the parties of the resolution by serving a copy of the judgment upon the parties and their counsels of record. When a party represented by counsel personally or directly obtains a copy of the judgment, such party is deemed notified. So the Commission po will send a copy to either the party concerned in the case or to its lawyer or counsel or representative. A motion for reconsideration from the decision of the Commission in its division one motion for reconsideration shall be entertained by the Commission en banc. The Commission en banc shall resolve the motion for reconsideration within 30 calendar days. After the lapse of 15 calendar days from date of receipt of the judgment or final order, the judgment has become final and executory. It shall therefore forthwith be entered by the executive clerk in the book of entries. After that po, the Commission shall execute motu proprio or upon motion of any interested party. A separate order from the regional, without a need of a separate order from the regional adjudicator, the adverse party may file an opposition to the motion for reconsideration, after which the regional adjudicator shall resolve the motion and issue the writ of execution. The writs of execution shall be issued by the regional adjudicator directed to the sheriff. So kahit po yung judgment ay galing sa regional adjudicator or the commission in its division or en banc, the writs of execution shall be executed by the sheriff sa regional adjudication branches namin. The commission may issue writs of execution to implement and enforce its judgment on direct contempt when committed against it or any of its members. A writ of execution is not appealable. All incidents pertaining to the execution of the final and executory judgment shall be resolved by the regional adjudicator or the commission as the case may be where necessary. A special order of the execution of the judgment or order award shall be issued. So here po, this is the flow chart ng process sa Commission on Appeal, either sa division or sa en banc. Again, it is through the filing of an appeal memorandum before the regional adjudication branch, and then the filing of the counter memorandum with the Office of the Executive Clerk, and then the resolution by the Commission on the division, and there is an opportunity for one motion for reconsideration to be resolved by the Commission en banc. The appeals po from the decisions of the Commission en banc shall be filed before the Court of Appeals na po. So here is a general flow of the adjudication process before the HSAC. Again, just a short briefer. It starts with the regional adjudicator by filing a verified complaint. A summons shall be issued, and then the respondent shall be allowed to file an answer. There is the schedule of mandatory conference, and then the filing of position papers, and then the adjudicator's decision will be sent to the parties. The party who is not satisfied with the decision can appeal to the commission in its division or en banc, and a decision of the commission division shall have one motion for reconsideration, which shall be resolved by the commission en banc, and then an appeal to the Court of Appeals when necessary. The effectivity, this rule shall take effect 15 calendar days from its publication. It was published on March 6, 2021 and became effective on March 21, 2021. I understand that yung topic ko is a bit more technical and a bit more legal. So if you have any clarifications or concerns, you can contact po the Human Settlements Adjudication Commission Public Affairs Division through the following numbers or email us at info@hsac.gov.ph. Yun lang po, Ms. Jamie. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Thank you very much, Attorney Aika. So at this point, may we please request our audience to please type your questions in the chat box via Zoom or Facebook Live. Our representative from HSAC will answer your queries. And I think they're already answering, no, your support team po on Facebook Live.
Yes po. We have one question here po from via Zoom. It says here, I completed my down payment for the house and lot I am eyeing in a certain developer. But due to the pandemic, I was forced to close business. Hence, I was declined a bank loan. Is it legal for PhilInvest to forfeit my money even when there is no development in that unit? It is still a piece of land without the promised house. So parang may dalawang issues po yung complainant here. Yung isa po is there is no development of the unit. Wala pa pong progress. With that po, it is the Department of Human Settlements that has jurisdiction over this issue. Sila po yung may regulatory function to make sure na yung developers are on schedule sa developments natin. As to the forfeiture po ng down payment nyo for the house and lot, you may proceed directly po to the regional adjudication branch that has jurisdiction of the project, and then you can file a complaint na po for the issue mo ng forfeiture ng down payment, so that the regional adjudication branch can determine if legal po yung pag-forfeit o hindi. We have here po another question. Ano po ang dapat gawin kapag hindi tinupad ng developer ang tamang sukat sa aktual at sa floor plan? At ano po ang proseso o remedy? Yung pwede po gawin natin is you can also proceed po to the department kasi sila po yung may regulatory function ng mga projects. If hindi po kayo satisfied, you can proceed to our regional adjudication branch to file a complaint. I think po I want to complete my answer to this question with another Facebook Live question that asks, ano po yung verified complaint? Ano po yung pinagkaiban niya sa regular complaint? So yung verified complaint po is may attachment yan na what we call a verification. You can find naman po the template in our website para mag-guide po kayo. And you can also proceed to the regional adjudication branch for assistance. So yung proseso po is unang-una pumunta po kayo sa regional adjudication branch namin for assistance to file a verified complaint. Yun po. May FB Live question din po tayo. Ano pong pinagkaiba ng HSAC sa DSUD? Medyo nakakalito po kasi. Yes po, I understand. Medyo nakakalito talaga. So yung DSUD po, there are the ones who has regulatory and monitoring function ng mga developers and their projects. So yung mga developers po, nagre-register po sila at nai-issuehan po sila ng Certificate of Registration and License to Sell sa mga developers. Correct me if I'm wrong kung may representative tayo dito sa DSUD. And for HSAP po kami, we have jurisdiction over disputes or complaints by the buyers against the developers or homeowners association disputes. So sa amin po, pag may reklamo na po kayo, pwede kayo mag-file ng kaso po sa amin. Kami po yung may hawak pag gusto mo nang mag-file ng kaso. Yan po yung jurisdiction ng HSAC. What will happen to cases that were filed before the 2021 HSAC rules of procedure were implemented? So, yung the Republic Act 11201 was passed in 2019 and was fully operational in the year 2020. before po ng bagong HSAP rules of procedure, we were following the 2019 HLURB rules of procedure. So the cases filed po before the new rules ng HSAP, we were complying with the 2019 HLURB rules. We have one final question po from Facebook Live. Can HSAC adjudicators decide on cases of HOA where there has been failure of election for 8 years and hold over as prescribed by Magna Carta IRR, which states 2 years max? Yes po, if there are homeowners association disputes, or if there are members of the HOA who has a dispute against the homeowners association, like in election cases, you can go po to our regional adjudication branch and file a complaint or an election contest po kung gusto nyo. Ms. Jamie, I think yun lang po yung mga questions for HSAC.
Yes, thank you very much po, Attorney Aika, for answering all those questions. And if you have other questions, you may also visit the official Facebook accounts of all the key shelter agencies. They are now flashed on your screen. For unanswered questions or queries, they shall be forwarded to the concerned key shelter agency and they will get back to you soonest. So, maraming salamat po, Attorney Ong, at sa ating mga kababayan. Dito po muna nagtatapos ang ating webinar series sa araw na ito. Thank you for joining us in the first series of our Hanap Bahay, the National Shelter Month Virtual Housing Fair celebration. Again, thank you to all our key shelter agencies, our speakers, our support staff, and of course, our audience in Zoom and Facebook Live. Sana po ay nag-enjoy kayo kasama kami ngayong umaga. At kami rin po ay masaya na ma-share sa inyo ang iba't ibang programang pabahay ng ating gobyerno. Samahan po ninyo kami ulit next week sa susunod po na Sabado, October 16 para sa webinar series na tinawag naman nating The House of Us, kung saan tatalakayin naman po ng iba't ibang mga key shelter agencies ang mga programa kung saan po makakabili ng property na nasa ilalim naman ng acquired assets. Yan, masasagot po ang inyong mga tanong sa Facebook Live. Marami po ang gustong bumili ng kanilang mga properties. Kaya wag po nating palampasin ito. On behalf of the Department of Human Settlements and Urban Development, I am your host, Jamie Cruz, mula pa rin po sa Public Assistance Service. Kita-kita po ulit tayo sa susunod na Sabado para sa ating Hanap Bahay, the National Shelter Month Virtual Housing Fair. Always keep safe, wear your mask, observe social distancing, and of course, wash your hands. Hanggang sa susunod na Hanap Bahay. Stay safe, everyone.